Are we live? It says we're going live, but are we live? I think we are live. Son of a biscuit. Welcome. Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. I hope you are doing great. So, I had some comments. And obviously, always remember, right? The lives. I do the lives as you're more welcome to ask any questions if you're starting out, whatever. And you guys can always email me. And some of you got my number. You can always text me and stuff. I just had a wonderful conversation with Josh the other day. It was good to catch up with them. If you guys, some of you guys remember, Josh was down in Indiana, and went down there and visited him. We did some garage doors and worked together. And great dude. Very inspirational. He started out with a Spark, the Chevy Spark. I think he still might have the Chevy Spark. I forgot to ask him, but I just thought it was pretty good. Peter, I think I got one of your comments too. Peter, let's check this out. Was this you, Peter? Did you message me 12 hours ago? And was Uncle Dave, if customer has 2 doors, what's he got? What's up, Rusty? Uncle Dave, a customer has 2 doors, both with just 1 spring. Do you charge 2 single spring jobs or double spring job? That was you. I'll give you a little love. I'll put a little love on there because we're addressing it. So I kind of mentioned it to the Wifertron a little bit. I'd like to hear your guys' opinion. Rusty would be good for this. I think you kind of charge them as the same. Let's say you're charging $189 or, whatever, $500, whatever it is. X amount of dollars per door. Now, I believe you could give a little bit of a discount, 20, 40, maybe $60 off. I don't know. Depends on how your ticket number is and what your margins are. Because, in a nutshell, you're already there. So it's not like you're driving. It's not the wear and tear and the gas and the liability of, smashing into a tree and all that kind of stuff. So, if somebody, let's just use simple, it's $300 for this. I'd probably do that one for $250. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, you still have to do the work, right? You still got to tear it apart. You got to, unwind it. Maybe it's broke. I'm assuming this is a situation probably where a customer has one and they're like, well, should we just, potentially do this one too? Because you can't really just charge like, well, I'll just charge you, I'm here. I'll just charge you the cost, a little bit of markup. Can't charge you the cost of the spring. So I kind of look at it as like, it's basically both the same price. It's kind of like, garage doors, you can cut garage doors down a little bit, right? Because you're already there because the tools are out. But I wouldn't cut too much off, maybe 20, 40, $60, depending on what your margins are on it. So that was one, and we'll see what people come up with. And then, I don't really like, I seen some of these comments and I didn't know what to think. I just thought I was like, maybe I'll bring them on the channel and just kind of address them. It'd be kind of fun, and like I said, this is like not to criticize or anything, because everybody's opinions, their opinion, is more welcome. Like I said, if you're a Chamberlain guy or a LiftMaster guy, great, man. I am so happy they're working good for you. I just don't care. I don't care if you're a Ford guy, a Chevy guy, a Dodge guy. I don't care. If it works for you, awesome. That's how I look at it. If you've had great success, great, buy another one. I can only tell you what I've experienced in my demographics, in my climate, in my customers, things like that. So let's see. I'll just see. This one was, I think it was like Philip Dodge. It's not a normal subscriber that I know of anyways. And he mentions, which is credible, right? It says, I can't even keep count how many Genie motors I replaced. LOL. Chamberlain / LiftMaster are the best motors out there. And Craftsman was produced by Chamberlain, and no offense, but for someone who does doors, that's says doors that not the proper way to hang a motor. Okay, so this was on the one that me and Mr. Caleb did. It was his job, and I hung it with the one. If you guys remember, I hung it with the one piece of angle. So already right there, I kind of was like, all right, dude, like obviously you didn't watch the full video and you didn't understand the situation, and it was not permanent. You know what I mean? Like, well, I wasn't leaving the opener with one drop. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. This just kind of screams to me inexperienced, not done it long enough, not gone through the runners on it of some sort. That's what just kind of it screams to me because in that particular situation, we had an opener and the customer. I could tell with the customer how the customer was acting. We're doing it on a Sunday evening, right? Everybody's closed. And he's like, well, make sure you get 12 gauge, right? He even knew the word. He was just like, make sure you get 12 gauge angle. And I was telling Mr. Caleb, I said, look, dude, I said, let him go buy it. I said, he knows where he got it from. It's going to be the right shine because this angle was like super shiny. I said, it's going to have the same sheen to it. I said, this guy's just been kind of a problem. You know what I mean? So I said, let's let him get it. He already kind of mentioned, and you're going to go to some other place that's not where he went. Let's just let him get it. And I said, you can come back another time. Cause I said, you already got to do perimeter seal. So there was that. Proper way, motor. And so he says proper way to hang a motor. And as far as unplugging it, I'll worry about it losing its limits. I've had ones where I've set and they've been unplugged for a month and been plugged in and didn't lose their limits at all. They didn't lose them at all. Well, congratulations. I've been in the same boat. I've had some of the newer LiftMasters and Chamberlain products. And I've ran into the same thing. I've unplugged them. I've had them unplugged and I've never had a problem. I've had some where they've been unplugged for just a night and I come back the next day and the limits are all off. I don't know, but I don't seem like I remember the Genies. I have on the commercial. I know they've got on the commercial ones. I've seen a little bit of craziness with them sometimes. Like it's almost like if you're running them off a generator or something. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I know I get nervous if they don't sit long enough on good, clean power. So there was that. So like I said, hey man, that's awesome. I'm glad he's had zero problems. And if you've had zero problems, and just stick with what you have, man, like do it. There was one more that I thought was a little bit suspicious. I think this was John. Is it Bailey? He says this was on an AMAR door. I did. I forget what this. Show me the job. What this was. All right, here it says. Okay, so the one for is it Philip? That was a Chamberlain garage door opener with 10-foot rail extension. What did I put on here? Well, why doesn't it show me all of it? It says what could go wrong. So that's what that video was. All right. Let's go to this. This one on why don't use AMAR garage doors. And John's got here, he says the strut on a 16x7. Now I'd like to hear you guys' opinion on this, because I'll tell you what I've been told, you know what I mean? And like I said, Uncle Dave don't know everything. I know a few things. I know don't get married too young. Don't co-sign. Don't get part of student loan debt. Don't pay too much in taxes. Once you pay it, it's not coming back. Okay, so the one strut on a 16x7 defaults to the top section. Also, Wayne Dalton is much lower quality compared to AMAR. Yeah, that's why I say. I'm just joking here. Like I said, I'm a little fun. Like I said, comments are always welcome. When I kind of read that, I went, I was like, I don't know what to think of that. I just thought, I would say Wayne Dalton's above AMAR. I've had a lot of problems. And now, like I said, that was our distributor. That was in our location. That was our distributor. So, you know what I mean? I mean, every door we got was scratched and dinged, scratch and ding, scratch and ding, scratch and ding. They couldn't even keep us enough touch-up paint. So I just kind of went, and then when he said the strut defaults to the top section, I went, not from what I was told. I was told that if you have a 16x7 and it only comes with one strut, because we were doing them through Lowe's, and what I was told from them is that is for the middle, right? If they're doing an operator, then you do operator prep. You do put a strut on the top, and then you put your operator bracket, or whatever one comes with do a nicer operator prep is what I like to do. but I was told for the middle. So, and I'm a big believer, man. I just watched a little skit on Facebook and somebody was like, we do, you want to worry about our garage doors. And it was some like little video. And I'm thinking like, I wanted to be like, hey man, don't forget to put a strut in the middle. Because I'm a big believer. You got a 16x7 door, strut in the middle will save that door. You'll get another 5-10 years out of it because they sag. They sag every time they go up. You'll see them belly a little bit, and they start ripping. That's what happens to them all the time. You always see them rip. Let's see what we got in the comments. Be willing. Be free. Be free. I think that's all I had on those. Friends, guys, what's up? Learning, awesome. Thanks for being here. Don't be afraid to ask questions. It gets me riled up. You know how I get sometimes. I get a little riled up. Dave, do you mean if there are doing spring job, doing one spring, and they ask for another on a different door? Correct. That's I believe. Yep, he's got yes, Rusty on here. What are you charging for one? $325. Evan's here. What's up, Mr. Evan? I was just thinking about you today. I was like, I wonder what Evan's working on. He's always got something. Then he gets like in a corner and then he lets me know and he's like, hey, what would you do? And I'm like, he's like, I've already done 20 of these. And I'm like, what? Like, how did you do so many? He's like, I'm on my 25th and I ran into a problem. He's doing backdoor deals, man. He's hustling. It's good for him. Oh, right here. See, he's already got something. He says, got two. I should put this up. I can put it up. I forgot. I got the software. Sorry. It's been a minute. Got two separate piece doors. I'm going to be replacing. One looks like I'll have clearance issues, but I still have to go take a look at it. Interesting. I got a question for Evan. And Evan, if we don't get it on this, you gotta message me. You got to message me. I got to know, man, what happened to that one door? It just came to my brain. What happened with the one door? Remember the one door that had the rafters in the way? And me and Rusty were like, whoa, dude, like you need a low headroom track. And like, did you ever get that job? I think it was Home Depot. I think it was a Home Depot door. Did you take it back? Did you order the right one? Did you hack it, whack it? Were you just like, you know what I mean? Were you just like, oh man, Uncle Dave and Rusty, they were right. And I got my butt spanked. Or did it just go smooth? They moved the rafters. What happened, dude? $325 spring cost. What's about 65? Boom, $325. Boom, spring cost. Boom, about 65. What's up, Scott? Are you marking up springs and how much? Ooh. Sorry, guys. I got to go. Peter's got to go. Can say I'll catch up later, Dave. Could you read Rusty's answer out loud for when I'm listening later? Ooh, hopefully it shows up because I got it on this screen. So we should be good. Answer loud. So listening to go up. It's just $325 for the spring job and includes everything. Minimum 2 struts. Minimum. Yeah, I'm a believer. 2 struts minimum, 16x7. So when I seen that, I was like, and it goes on the top. And I thought, okay, yeah, for sure it goes on the top of the door if it's got an opener, but you should realistically have 2 and put one at the top and one in the middle. That's just my opinion. Peter, I'm asking if you mark up this range because tell me how much profit you're getting from that and how you're getting from the service call. Ooh, Florida. Yeah, Florida's got the wind load going stuff, right? Right, the wind load stuff. Ooh, that's a good question too. Rusty's guy says, are you itemizing your invoice? Ooh, breaking it down, right, Rusty? Breaking it down, labor, material. Yeah, I just kind of put it all together, right? Oh, Peter's got on here. He's got 260. No flat. So you're giving customer spring at cost as you get it. I don't know about that. He's got a little bit of money. 325 for a single. 65 seems like a little high for the cost of a spring. Springs used to be like 30 bucks. What are they, about 40? 40, 50 for small springs? Just all depends. Just all depends. I know it's always kind of a gray area. You know what I mean? That whole like, and I forget how I've heard it before, but it's kind of it just is what it is, man. I mean, like electricians, they charge like $75 when they're doing remodels and stuff. $75 an outlet, and obviously if the wire's farther and stuff like that, but if it's like a garage, they might charge you 75 per outlet in the garage. So I just look at it and to me, it's kind of, it's just going to be, it's this and it's this because I got labor and I got time, but I can discount the second one if you want. You don't have to. And I'd probably just explain to the customer, say like, look, it's going to save me, it's 20 bucks, for gas and stuff, or something. And they feel a little better about it. But most of the time, I don't get a lot of customers. Do you guys get a lot of customers? I don't get a lot of customers that normally we'll do one spring, like a single door. Let's say they have two 9x7s. I don't get the customer that'll typically go, well, this one happened. So we probably should do this one, don't you think? And that doesn't normally happen. Now, obviously, when it comes to like a 16x7, absolutely do not just do one spring. Obviously, do them as a pair because that's a nightmare. Do them as a pair because that is a nightmare. Rusty, what did you work on today? What was on the agenda today? Anything go good? Anything go bad? I did a boo-boo. I'll tell you about it. I did a boo-boo. Got a customer, not a long-distance loser. Got a customer. You'll see the video. It'll eventually come out. I'm about wrapped up with the commercial one. I know everybody's sick of it. But this customer, I explained to them because it was a stock door. And I said, I just explained to them that it was, payment. And it's basically how do I explain it? It's a foreclosed home, basically. I don't know if you call it foreclosed. Somebody passed away. The house is in shambles. But anyways, I never met the guy. Don't know him. Everything's been just via phone call, via text, and he hasn't paid. It's been a couple days, and I explained to him. I said, and I tried to stall out when I was there. I thought everything was green light, but come to find out, he's going to pay credit card, and it's in the system, but he has not paid. So tomorrow is probably going to be a hounding day because I've been letting somebody else deal with it, and I think I'm going to jump in and kind of rattle the cage a little bit and say, hey, remember our conversation that as soon as this job was complete, it needed to be paid. So are you going to? And by the way, it's Friday, and I need beer money. No, it's just the point though, right? It's like it needs to be taken care of. Oh, I got to bring some of these up. Did I bring these up, Peter? Did I put up Mark? Spring customer, how much profit? Getting a service call. Let's go down here in Florida. Are you itemizing their invoice? 260 gross. I think I already put out this. No flat. Customers bringing out the cost as you get it. Whoa. What does it say? So are you saying two labor 260? You'd be 1.5 labor plus whatever you are charging for springs. Leave that up there for a second, just so everybody can see if they come in through the back door later. Thanks for being here, by the way. Oh, and don't forget, hit the like button. I don't know where we're at, but if you could do that for me, please. That just helps wake up the algo. Let me just check these comments, make sure I didn't miss one, too, for the weirdness going on out there. Nope, I think we're good on there. All right. Let's go to Joe. Oh, Joe's got it. That's kind of a good question. I thought about it. He says, but 18-wheelers, who fixes the trailer doors? They are like garage doors. No. Yeah, kind of like down here. I already see Kevin's in here. Welcome, Kevin. Hope you're doing good. Um, yeah, those. How do you explain it? I mean, Kevin might have some. I mean, who's got some input on these things? Like, so for instance, it's a good question, by the way. Um, I did them right. I was doing them. I was doing box trucks. I really didn't do too much semis, but I did box trucks. Yeah, this is kind of how I look at it, at least in my demographic. What I kind of know is, uh, for instance, we had a what do you call it? It's a truck accessory place down the road from the shop that would send them sometimes our way. They'd fix sometimes them, and I'd go down there. And I got a buddy down there. He's a cool dude, and but like he'd be, I'd bring him like I'd sell him some winding bars, and I'd go down there, and he'd work on like enclosed trailers, and like I remember the one that it was this lawn care place, and the whole back end of the trailer was swaying. The whole structure was gone. Like so, it's just and it's like dude, it just felt like one bump on the highway, and this whole thing is going to go like this, and it's going to lose the cable, and we're going to be back here again. So it was like, you're just kind of like, they need a new trailer. What do we do our best, so we fix it, right? And yes, are they very similar? But the thing is when you're closing, so like you normally have to have a couple guys. Like for once, when they got those big gates, like a 20 by 8 enclosed trailer, like you need a couple guys lift up those big gates, right? They're heavy. You're in a box, basically, very, very tight spaces. The shaft's all grooved up. It's a real bear. Um, it's just got to get light in there. It's just kind of a pain. You're kind of trapped. So it's almost like a 2 to 3 man operation. It feels like to me. That's just my opinion. But when it comes to the semis, right? The semis, they're little door sections, and I think was it white? Isn't it white that makes them right? There's like two different only back doors, and they got little rollers, right? So everything's packed, man. Everything's tight. I've had some where they come where there's stuff in them, and the door broke, so that's a roll. It's like working, like kind of reminds me of storage unit doors. The roll up storage unit doors. You know how it does. You get in there, and it's like, geez, Louise, man, there's all a bunch of crap in here. So there's that. It's I never felt like, I'm not saying it couldn't be. I just never felt like it was very like how do I say it? Like where people are like, "Oh my gosh, dude, like I couldn't find nobody like I'll give you, how much do you want?" It just felt like kind of like a byproduct. And it's weird. I'm kind of weird like that, but like the universe, where it's like when you started kind of doing them, it's like more started coming. And for us, some people wanted to drop their trucks off, and it felt a little wrong. Like they're going to drop you a truck off that's a hundred to $500,000 truck, or whatever, and they're leaving the keys, and they're parking them, and they're leaving keys hidden. And like if you're not always at the shop, it was weird. Not to say you couldn't orchestrate it, not to say you couldn't organize it better. It never clicked that good with us. And then it's just like you had moving parts, what I mean? Like that's not stationary. It's going down the road. So things like, when you're in the truck and if it's swaying and you're kind of like, well, did it come off because of the sway? Did it come off because it hit something? Did it come off because the cable broke? A lot of stuff is corroded depending on where you live. The corrosion is horrendous. The cables are on the outside. I think they got like maybe special swedges a little bit. So it's just a little bit different animal. Like I felt like we're going to have to go through like Service Spring. Service Spring would be a good, like I felt like I had to kind of go through the catalog and go like, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need a few sections too. And then it just felt like a lot of babysitting. Like I'd have to like call the customer and be like, hey, you got your truck here. I felt like an auto center, what I mean? Like, hey, I got your truck here. So technician looked at it, and it needs a couple sections and a couple rollers, and yeah, it's going to probably be, that's just the way it felt. So it just wasn't really our fit, what I mean? So I started really trying to like just kind of what I mean? Because it felt like we needed 2 or 3 guys. You have 2 guys in the cab that are working, then you got one outside, because my gosh, if you do some of that door and you're trapped, what I mean? It's like, so it never worked out good. It felt like you just a pain, just a pain. You're up elevated, climbing up and out. You got to bring your tools in. They have different size holes. I remember we had to actually have a set of winding bars machined downed because they take smaller winding bars, which I don't know if Service Spring actually sells those. So there's a lot of little hidden things to them. The rollers, hinges are different. But if they're more like garage doors, then I'd say, yeah, I'd probably be like, oh, but then it's like, do you through bolt? Everything's through bolted, everything's spinning. It's like a wood door, right? Everything spins when you try to take nuts off. Yeah. Great question. But if you got more, let me know. I see it down there, Joe. He says, I don't do them from what you're just saying. I'm just saying, hey, man, there's money. The thing is what I didn't really realize, because at first I kind of had the same idea. I kind of was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, like who works on these? And I thought about it and I thought, hey, dummy, they take them to truck places, right? Truck repair shops do them. You know what I mean? So you're not the only cat in town. You know what I mean? You're not like you just reinvented something. Wherever there's a truck center, they do them there. You know what I mean? They work on them. They probably maybe charge more and stuff. And I'm not saying there isn't a niche for it. I mean, if you got in with a company that said, hey, we're going to exclusively use you, well, then I'd probably say, well, maybe I'm your guy. You know what I mean? But I definitely don't like the idea. Like, it's definitely a minimum. I feel like a 2-man crew, you know what I mean? Cause somebody's got to be outside, man. You do something wrong, cables get off, I do not want to be trapped in the back of a truck. Help. This is, I did an opener install, figured out some quotes from yesterday. Estimates. Someone hit a 1510. It says by 7.6. And when I did a roller hinge change and set the cables on the door, my dad installed in 1997. Now, that's pretty cool. Be able to touch Dad's handiwork back in the day. It's funny, we just installed that opener, and I refurbished it. And I'm like I told Mr. Caleb I had Emmy, had M with me. I call her M. And I'm like, none of you were born. Like, none of you were alive yet. It was 1993. This opener's still kicking. It's a Craftsman. I think it was a Craftsman. But kind of a pain. That's right, on those semi-truck doors. It's great if they got a man door. Some of those old, like, kind of box trucks will have a man door, and then you're golden. But, then you got to have a space for it. Like, are they going to bring it to you, or are you going to go there? And it seems like, man, you got to have like a grinder, and just seems like a lot. Did a customer who wanted a Ridge? My cost store was 19. Holy cow. 40. Talk to them tomorrow and see if in the budget. Joe, fix them once a month or so. Putting in a sign by the interstate. Ooh, there you go. By the truck, truck stop, get some extra work. Yep. It's kind of one of those things, like, it can be done, but it's kind of, I don't think it's as bad as dock seal, or as bad as dock levelers. But it's a little bit, it's just, you got to go, you know what I mean? Like, you got to get the winding bars, you got to make sure you got the rollers. It's just stuff that we don't have in stock. So I'd feel like you'd want to buy a few sections, the bottom, obviously bottom, intermediate. You got to have that latch mechanism. And then it's weird because it's like, if you oil it, what kind of oil do you use? And like, how long does it last? Because it's in the elements, I mean, you know how it is. And then sometimes if you're in bad weather, we get them, man. They just, I mean, they're coated in salt and just crusty and nasty. And then you got to, if you make cables, they use those they got round little bevels, which is not the end of the world, but they got these round little beads for where the pins go through. And then you got to have like those brackets. They got like little, I don't know how to explain it. It's a weird bracket on the outside. So it's just a different animal. The springs are like, you're not going to have the springs. So then it's like, do you stock different springs for that thing? Like, which ones are common? I have no clue. You know what I mean? The nice thing is, like I say, you can get all that stuff, as far as I know, from Service Spring. It's a different animal. It's like, I feel like I got to have like a little enclosed trailer. That's my semi truck trailer. It's got all the nuts and bolts and rollers, and it's kind of like when we did car wash. I was the only one that really normally did the car washes. So I would, I kind of had like my own special bin because I'll tell you, a a little story. I, with the car wash ones, right? I remember, I think it was from American Door Supply out there in, what is it, Minnesota? And I remember I ordered these hinges in, and looking at it now, I could probably tell, but I guess maybe I was a little more green. And I ordered these hinges in. Well, somebody at the shop just decided, like, oh, supplies, which is nice of them, right? They're like, I'm gonna put them away. Well, they categorized all the hinges with our existing hinges. I couldn't tell. I'm like looking at them, and these ones are like a stainless steel. Spent a lot of money. And so they messed up so I had to go through all the hinges, and I'm like, is there a way that we can tell? Will it say something on them? And they're like, not really. It'll be like a lasered etch. And then I could look at them now and I could tell you, but then I couldn't, I was just like, I'm looking at them, I'm like, I don't know. It's a hinge. It's a hinge. One's a galvanized, one's like a stainless. It's not quite stainless. It's some kind of coating, but yeah, that was not fun. And then like you're going through counting. So you know what I mean? That's why I'm just saying, like, everything. Now I know that's not going to happen with the semi truck stuff, but I'm just saying it's like, I had rollers that look similar, but these ones are actually the really car wash rollers. So I had to keep those all separate because stainless steel, like I'm assuming they use stainless steel probably for the semi trucks. They're using a stainless steel cable, garage door cable. And then with the wedges, I don't know. I mean, I heard you're supposed to use copper, so I had copper wedges. Um, I'm definitely not an expert with those. I know what I used for the car washes, and that seemed to help. It did last longer. Did I put on here? Kevin's got tight spaces, tracks welded, and you need special rollers and hinges. We do some, but if you can steer them to a trailer repair, right there, a trailer repair shop, as they can eat up time, that we could get a couple regular calls in. Right. I would have to agree. That's. I think me and Kevin are kind of on the same page with that. It was just we don't have somebody like designated, like a repair shop. They come to you, and you got a lift and all that kind of stuff. It was like, the secretary, even when they were there, they'd call, hey, they dropped the truck. They want to know, should they stay? And it's like, we really don't have a weight room that's really meant for that. And it was just like, well, no, just tell them, it could be 4 to 6 hours. We'll get to it when we get, then it was like, you get back and then, you think maybe, well, the secretary can, stand outside, or at least you can call her. Well, the phone starts blowing up. She can't, she's busy, or customers are coming in. It just never worked out. Then you get in there and it's like, you never failed, right? You start doing something, you unwind the spring and you're like, oh crap, I need another wrench. And even though you bring your bag in there with all your tools, it's like you always need, man, I need a grinder. Where's your grinder? It's outside. Where outside? In your truck. So it just was like fudge, and then now you got to lift up this dead weight door to get stuff underneath. That's why I said it's almost like a two-man, it's a two-man ordeal. And then when you start looking at it and you're like, okay, this guy's going out making X amount of dollars for a broken spring on a residential, and we're both here, we're screwing around with this. Oh, now we need to order parts. Now what do? Do they leave the truck? And I didn't like that. I didn't really like the truck sitting around, especially when I knew there was like contents. I'd always make sure it was under the camera. I was in the gated area and stuff like that. I don't know, just kind of, it's a different. It's just something you're not used to. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I'm not saying it's bad or good. It's just I'm not used to it. I'm not used to having customers' cars. What's up, Rich B? Got anything going on, Rich B? Any things in the pipeline? Charge enough to be profitable. Treat it like any other job. True. It's just a different animal. And like I said, Joe, thanks. Experiences. Appreciate it, man. Like I said, if you got questions, ask them. This is what, this is what I love doing, I mean, for the lives and stuff like that, anything business and that, and you got some great guys in here, a lot of wisdom, you know what I mean? And, everybody's got different experiences, like I said, it's like with Rusty, charge profitable, treat it, hey, not saying no, I'm not saying no. I mean, there's money there. It's just, all I can say is what I've experienced. And like with Kevin, he's got, tight spaces. It's tight spaces. I mean, it's like everything's just, it's like you need little kid hands, to work on spaces. Things are pinched, and um, it's like a different level of, there's a lot of variables. Cause like when you're in a truck and you actually see how the truck sways, it's like, you're like, whoa, like, I mean, how does that? And then there's like, everything's fitted together differently. Like sometimes there's like space, there's like, I don't remember if the shafts, I think the shafts were standard size, like torsion tubes, but I just know sometimes they put shims in there, and then like there's plates, and the plates are like twisted or bent. And it's like, is there a reason that's bent like that? Like they got flex to them. Your the drums are different, right? Drums are different. They're kind of like easy set springs from Menards. So you got that. And then sometimes, it's like one of those things you think nobody's been in there. And it's like, if it's an older ish truck, oh my gosh, it's like you start messing with something. You're like, who the hell put an Allen wrench? What is this, a bolt? Like what is this? It's like, I mean, it just starts kind of compounding, and you're just like, am I like, did they take this everybody around town and now I got to deal with this piece of crap? Like, or am I the idiot that took it? And then it's like I said, if you don't have it, now if I had a whole stash of stuff, I'd be like, psh, you're gonna get new rollers, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get sections. It's gonna be $5,000, and they go fly a kite. I don't know what it costs. I wonder what it costs to replace the whole back end of a door, like sections only. Sections only. Compare, yeah, probably sections only. I wonder what that would run about. Experience. What's he got? I do springs and box trailers with the drop down doors. I've done a few. They're not, like I said, I mean, they're okay. They're just different. I got the PTSD because I remember the one I worked on, the whole back end was in such bad shape. It was a landscaper trailers or enclosed trailers. They beat the out of them, man. They just beat them. I mean, and this whole thing was just like, I mean, there was a hole in the floor. I'm like, I don't know if they're working it off one cable. The whole door back end's all twisted. I mean, I was just like, they need a new trailer, dude. Like, they don't need like this fixed. Like, I can't guarantee this. Like, I mean, as soon as they pull this thing out of the parking lot, it might fail, dude. There's so much sway in this thing. I mean, oh, a customer remembered cost. Clopay, oh, 43 on 1907. Installed. Wow, man. Isn't that crazy? Inflation. How much stuff has gone up. I think I was just pricing like what is it, a 10 by 8 or something? I mean, just like, basically like 18 or something in cost. And it's just like, I should ask while we're here, Rich, Rich B, does Kevin text, or is he just a phone call? Because I know we got a delivery, and I'm okay, but my phone's not always on, so I don't always text is the best. Some people, man, I had an old boy today. He called me. Company next to us uses makes box trucks. Ooh, doors should come together and weld and frame and basically weld back of the truck, then cut it loose. Wow, sounds pretty easy, man. Just whipper and way to go. What do we do? Do we lose cousin Evan? As soon as I asked him that question about that Home Depot door, cousin Evan ran. That son of a biscuit. I know he did. I knew it. I'll bring his hiney on here if I know how. Am I losing my mind? Rusty, do you remember? Rusty, did you hear any details on it? Remember that door? You remember that door? Come on, Rusty. You got to remember. I know we're getting old, but man, come on. Oh man, dude, we lost Hulk Hogan. Dang, man, we lost Ozzy. Man. Oh, who's gonna be next? Do. Ooh, I stay far away from car wash. Yeah, the car wash is a different animal. I didn't mind it. It's just I had to always do it after hours. I always had to do it late at night when I was when we did bigger stuff with them, with the car washes. Everything is different. Everything takes twice to three times longer than what if they're not the right car washes. Which we had a lot of customers that didn't have the right car washes. They have like Wayne Daltons in them. They were like, I mean, I get it. One guy told me, I was like, it was like $2,000 or $3,000 for a door, a standard door, or it was like $10,000 for a car wash door. And the customer's like, I'm gonna go with the like $2,000 or $3,000 door. And I'm like, but like this one will last. And he's like, Dave, he's like, let me tell you something. He's like, I got these things called employees and I got these things called customers. He's like, I put a $10,000 door on here. They're going to run into it. He's like, guaranteed. And I'm like, he's like, so I can replace that door how many times? He says with, and buy parts for how many times? And he says, yeah, he says, if I only get 2 to 5 years out of it, so be it. And I'm like, I get it. But when you got to go there and work on it and it's Swiss cheese, sucks. Kind of tells you what a pain they are. That truck manufacturer doesn't want to mess with them. Ooh. That is true. It's too tight, man. Too tight. Got to fit them right there. Fitting them to whatever. What do? You go through a car wash every day? Dang, man. Rich B, man, must be rich. That's why it's called Rich B. Go through a car wash every day. Love it. Listen to the story. Yeah, we've been around once or twice. That's for sure. It's choppy. Oh, hopefully. Hopefully it's just on your end. Maybe you're hitting 5G. The 5G. Stinking 5G. I didn't even go back and looked at that one, man. That was a good one. The walk I was doing. I'm sorry. I just going between. I didn't have really good service. But thanks for the guys. A couple guys texted me. Thank you for letting me know I was dead. I was dead in the water. I hear good. Rich B's got good here. Radio check. They do. We have a lot of Mexican friends, and it's easy money. Easy money. No, like I said, they're if it was kind of me, I wouldn't mind. Oh, I see it. I see Evan dropped in down there. See? Rusty. All right. I just want to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. Yes. Yes, it scared me because the headroom was going to bite him. Absolutely. So it's good. I see he's got here. Sorry, late supper. He says, haven't heard back from those people regarding that Clope. Whew. You might have dodged a bullet. It's always kind of a bummer too, right? Because when you put time in there, then you start forgetting. Like I just had something recently and I'm like, I might have to reevaluate. Like I got to sink myself back into that because it's been a little bit of time and now I forgot all the details. And I'm like, where did I put certain notes? Like where would I've, done this or done that? What's he got? So I think he's more phone calls, but you can tell them to have to more phone calls. Okay. You can tell them to have the driver text you. They're close. Well, I was just thinking with Kevin. Only reason was because I did message, or I called one of his staff members, and I did ask for a price, but I never got a call back. So I went to the secretary, and she hooked me up through the Wayne Dalton. So I knew that we're going to be probably similar or cheaper in price, but I just needed you know how it is. Does anybody else think that way sometimes? Do you ever just work on like numbers, or am I the only one? Because like I know my wonderful secretary hates me because she hounds me. She said, what'd she say? She's told me, I asked her for a price, and I don't ask very often, but I said, hey, I need a number. And what's the customer's name? I said, kind of through Facebook. I said, John Doe. And she was like, something, I remember, I forget what she wrote. She was something like, what great customer service or something. And I'm like, I just need a damn number. Just give me a damn number. I'm not doing nothing until we get a number. I don't put a lot of engagement into customers because I just don't know what they're going to do. People fall over. I like to pre-qualify. You know what I mean? And if she watches, that customer did bite. So now I have to work out the details. And since this is a 10x8 with 2 foot of high lift, I am going to do half down because that is not a standard door. So they need to do half down and understand this will be a basically non-refundable type of thing. Evan Domino's. Oh. Beef. Oh man, beef roast. Dang, that sounds pretty good. Arby's. Ooh, Arby's. That's right. That's right. Tony's in the house. Tony, what's going on, man? Tony, you've been doing a live? I haven't seen nothing pop up lately. What's been going on in your end? What's the economy like? Things busy? Things crazy? Good, bad? Take out any new openers that are only like 3 years old? I'm starting to hug the old openers a little more. I know I'm getting weird, but I keep thinking about Mr. Freeze, Mr. Eric Freeze. I got he told me a recommendation for a fan. Still working like a champ, keeping me cool at night. Man, every time I turn that on that fan, man, I think about old Eric. I go, oh man, got me a good one this time. No Amazon, Amazani, that's junking out on me. It's working pretty darn good. I think the cats are enjoying it right now, but but no, I took out even an old screwdriver and it probably worked. It's just, it was in this shamble of a house. And so I swapped it out with an old Chamberlain, the Craftsman. Craftsman worked great, man. Worked great. Put some photo eyes on it, it just, I don't know. I feel like I'm almost like ready to tell the guys, to say, hey guys, like, those openers, you just kind of set those off. Those don't go in the scrap hopper anymore. Okay. You just set those off to the side. Rich has got that. What's he got? Numbers are my friend now. But isn't it Rusty? Don't you typically, like, you're kind of the opposite of me, right? Like, don't you typically, like, you always go out to the customer, kind of like regardless, right? And then work the price and all that kind of stuff. Where like me, I'm giving numbers, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not driving out there. Like, you're gonna play a game first with me here. We're gonna see what you're all about. They've been doing pretty good, honestly. I don't know. I've been on a kind of a good streak lately, where I just been kind of working the numbers and helping out where I can, and they seem to be biting a little bit. So I'm trying to play with the algorithm, see what the matrix is doing out there. Homemade. Ooh, dog. Get some mustard out, right, Rich B? What you got? What you got? I started saving all my old openers. Then Eric comes over and goes shopping for what he wants. Nice. That'd be cool to take a little video. If you get Eric, he comes over, like, I want to see what he picks out. What you got? What's he going for? What's he going for? I think the biggest thing, which I always neglect, a lot of time I've done this over the years, is not asking for the remotes. And I've never really found a good way. I always felt like it was kind of like, can I have your old remotes? Like, cause I'm going to turn around and like sell your opener. You know what I mean? Like I always would tell them, like, sometimes like, you got your older remotes, we'll recycle them, or we'll give them to a customer, which we do sometimes. We have some, but it's always kind of hard. Like I always feel like you need the time to methodically go through the stuff. Like I had a brand new, now it's old. It's who knows how long it's been sitting, but I had a universal remote and the batteries were dead. So, but I had to go digging for the batteries, pull them out, which were a little bit dicey. The way they're kind of just stacked in there, or one stacked in, I forget. I thought it's kind of a weird way for them to do it. They used to have like a cradle, and then now it's like they just got like a metal band over, and I'm like, that can just kind of slide anywhere, but okay. So I had to go through and make sure the battery was good, and then I was debating on the light bulbs. I was like, do I give them new light bulbs? These are light bulbs that were in the unit. They still work. I'm just gonna leave them. Luckily, the covers weren't toast from somebody putting too hot of light bulbs in them over the years. The Genie, I thought, well, limits, you got limit switches on them. It might be fine. The limit switch the thing might run. It just found the wall button tangled up into a ladder. Photo eyes. What was it missing? It might have been a J-arm on the old door. I didn't get a J-arm. It says, if you sell jobs in person, it's way easier. Why do you think it's easier? I'm just curious. Like, I'm trying to think about that. Seems I see Evan's messaging me about something. Put it up here, Evan. Put it up here. We'll share it. We'll share it as a community. We'll help you out, brother. If you sell jobs in person, way easier. I don't know. I mean, I can see some, but see, like with technology nowadays, like I was waiting for the customer to be like, well, because the one needs to be like maybe a colored door, maybe. And I was waiting for them to be like, well, what's the kind? I was gonna be like, well, you can go on the old interweb and here's a link. I can send you a link, or I can, direct you, go to this website. I look at it like I don't like to waste my time. That's just me. And I know some people, that's part of business. Well, I've done that for many, many years. And I don't know if you guys like, when you're on the road, I mean, like right now, like Michigan, they've taken over that, like, you're not supposed to have any technology, like it's hands free. And I'm like going by all these corners and intersections, and everybody is. I'm like, what in the is that person doing? What are you doing? So like they're not paying attention, and I just it's a lot of risk out there. Rusty, you save the whole thing or just the head? Rusty, you save the whole thing or just the head? Ooh. What's he got? What's up? I see, is it Burke Garage Doors? He's in the house. He says, what's up? If anything other than LiftMaster, I save the rails too, or I call Eric and ask if he wants rail 2. Noise. I'm telling you, man, like I think instead of like reinventing the wheel, I think Eric should just start rebuilding them all. And then he can have like his own like little business, and he can like ship them to us, test them, like he'll know all the common problems and test them and stuff. And like, that'd be great. Like I would pay for that. The rails are always a problem though. Like you'd have to take off the rails, and if they're not the sectional piece together rails, I mean, it's kind of weird to even think the old T rails, like on those old what were they, like the Sears, right? Those were pieced together, right? And they were like the T-rail, real heavy duty. They always kind of sagged, right? They'd always sag. Sometimes the bolts were loose and that. But right now, the way things are, it's like I take them, man. Like I take it. I just like some of the stuff. I just go, I miss you. I miss you. You're like you were just dependable and like understandable. Some of this new stuff, I'm just like, what's it doing? Why is it doing that? Like I was literally thinking, what did we do? We're doing that Craftsman. And I was like, I literally felt like I wanted to like hold up the phone, right? And I wanted to be like, hey, look, friends, dude, I got control. Like I can turn this thing like I'm doing it like the old way, right? I got one guy running the button. I'm like, just bring it up like 2 feet, stop it. Like it's a hot day. I don't want to overheat the opener. And I'm like, I just make an adjustment on the mechanical limits. Boom. We're trying to get it to seal, right? I'm like, needs a little more. Bring it back up. A little more. Turn on the screwdriver. Hit it again. Boom. A little more. There you go. We're good. We're good. Like that's it. I'm like, it's not rocket science. Instead of where you got to go through and like that irritates the fudge out of me when I got to sit there and I got to go through this whole cycle again. I'm like, this is bull crap. Like I'll sit there and mess with a J arm before I'll deal with that. And then of course this one, we had the J arm. For some reason, the opener was up pretty high, and luckily the door runs good. But that one could buck over the top section if it's so desired, if it ever gets down the road. But Rusty, I agree. What's he got? Rich dude, drive out and give free estimates or trip charge, no matter what. Ways to give. What is this? Something in person? You think so? In person? I guess I'm trying to like figure out like I still I'm not quite sold. Like what's easier? What's easier? Is it because like you can give them a brochure? You can explain everything? Because like in my mind, like when I look at it, I go, okay, well, if I'm going out there, right? I'm going there. I'm not. It's like that. Was it Denell Washington, right? I send that around, right? I'm not leaving with nothing. You know what I mean? I'm leaving with something. And so I look at it and I go, like, I'm going out there to collect a half down check. So, and then that can be a process in itself where, like for us with Jobber, man, it's just like most people do pay with a credit card and stuff, but it makes it all look real official. They can pay online. All the notes can be in there, or it's all in one spot. Everybody can see it. But in the person, I'm still give me some. Is it just because you're like I'm closing the sale? Is it just because you can talk? I like to do the pre-qualify because some people I've just had too many over the years, just too many. They don't call you, something happens. Where was I driving by? I was just driving by somebody. I don't know. I was driving by somewhere and I was just like, that person wasted my time. I think they went like a totally different route or something, or maybe they weren't the owners of the place anymore. Person. Only thing you can really sell solid over the phone is openers. And most time, like for us, right? Like if I knew it was an opener problem, I typically always just bring an opener. I bring a 7 foot. Sometimes I didn't know, right? So I just bring a 7 foot, I bring an 8 foot rail. And that way I'm there. I'm going to just do this. It's going to take me a couple hours. Boom. I'm going to swap this puppy out. But then you got to make sure, you got the keypad, you got to have a couple of remotes, things like that. But that's where if you get pictures, right? Because what if there's 2 doors there too? I've had that a little bit where somebody's like, well, if we're doing this one, like I remember one got zapped. I think it was two Genies, actually. 2 Genie, the crappiest models. You can buy those blue ones, those ugly blue ones, bright blue, like the colorless blue on the screen right here. Like, they're from like Home Depot or something. Ugh, they got whacked. And I was just like, I'm not screwing with these. It's so small. Like my fingers won't even fit inside this thing. So I'm like, you need like a couple new openers. Like they're shot. Hello, friends. Ooh, that's a nice little logo there. That's sweet. How'd you do that? Build trust, and so you can don't underprice job by seeing that the door needs major work before opener install. But I'm not discounting it, but I get pictures. So like I don't think I can show you like like this one. If it'll show, I'll show the pictures, but I don't want to like, like blast somebody. So right now she messaged me, right? So we already determined the color is black. Black, thank you. Yes, you are correct. We just took a look and they are gray. Okay. So I couldn't tell because the building. I'll try to show you if I can find here. Bam. There it is, right? Nothing too gruesome on here, right? Let's see if I can hold this. But you can see the sides are about whatever, are gray, or the walls. These are black, right? The sides where the brick is the door. What is up with that door? I think it's because the shade, it's off, it's busted. So I got an outside picture. I was really just looking for, I'm just looking for whatever. I'm looking for weather seal. I'm looking for anything that's crazy. I'm also just kind of like curious where the building's at ish. I knew kind of where, but I know most of the buildings around our town. I mean, look at all these. Let me see if I can show these. Right, I got a, I got up there by this, spring, and they took a corner shot. There's my spring pad, and now obviously I know it's not the best with this camera. I really apologize. We're getting logistics here. Kind of had another angle shot they gave me. They gave me another shot. There's actually, I can see there's an Osco. There's an Osco opener sitting off the side. So it's a jack shaft. Okay. Which is going to have to be because we got insulation, right? So we got open rafters. That's easy. Open rafters are good. Let me throw this off for a second. I got some conduit or something funky, which you're probably not going to be able to see, but more. And this is what I told them. Oh, it shows up yellow. It's red on mine. But see, I put an arrow and I said, I need to know from the center of that shaft to the floor. And they told me. So I knew that would get me my head, my high lift, right? That would get my high lift in there, and that would give me a price. And that's all I'm looking for. And so I explained to him, I gave him a price, and I said, this is an equivalent to what you have already. And I told him that I said, we can do a cheaper. I said, but it's going to be I said, this is a 3-layer. I think I did it because I feel like Menards does that, and maybe that resonates with people because I never really used that terminology before. But I get people that seem like they're kind of confused when it comes to insulation or what kind of door. So I said, the one I'm quoting you is a 3-layer. I said we can do, I said so it's steel on steel, and I said we can do a 3-layer. I said, or I'm sorry, a 2-layer. I said, but it's going to be a vinyl back. I said, and that is going to be a little bit. So, I'm trying to feel them out where they're at for their budget. And so far everything's good. I told them, I said, I will put them in the system. I said, I will. And they gave me everything. They gave me the business, the address, the owner. I got it all. And if you're like me, I'm not good at filling this stuff out. That's why they're secretaries. Cause I used to bosh that stuff. And so that's why they had to answer stuff. So, but that's why I love text and I love email because it's all right here. It's all on them. It's documented. They gave me the email. So I just explained to them that I said, I will probably either maybe tomorrow or Monday. I said, like stop out, just double check. Right. I'm going to double check, but everything has been adding up. Right. So I don't have a problem. This is like 5 minutes from the shop. So it's an easy slam dunk. I did explain to them. They did not clarify. I have been doing this in practice. Now I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. I wish Josh was here. He could explain this a lot better. you know, I don't know how I feel about this. Okay. So hear me out, right? As a young buck, right? As a young buck, I used to look at like scrap metal as like a bonus. That was like my candy. That was like my donut money. You know what I mean? I was like scrap is like great. But around midnight, when I was down hanging out with Josh and we're doing a garage door, great conversations. He told me, you know, the way he explained it, I wish he could explain it way better than I can. But he explained, he said, like, I'm not a trash remover, company. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, I don't remove like that's been on their house for like 20 some years. Like, I'm not just hauling that away. Like, what if they want that? Like, what if they want that for somebody else's house? Or what if they want to make something out like a deer blind or something? I'm like, he's like, so like I'm charging. Like, and I'm like, that's not like a bad idea because when I was doing, 2 or 3 doors a day, super long days, you know, like my van would be stuffed to the gills. And I remember digging through, you know how it is. Like you're doing a job and you need an operator bracket. They shorted you a hinge or something. You're digging through the service van. You got all this crap. I mean, it's one thing you already got all this garbage, just from the packaging to now you got the metal in there and the track, and you try to be as efficient as fast as you can. You break the track down, you bend it in half, and you just throw it in that vehicle, truck, service van, whatever you got. And I thought, I think he's onto something. Like I'm like, you should charge because now this job we were just at, now I'm using the Nissan, which sucks. It works. It actually works pretty good for what it is. But I'm like looking at that door and I'm like, I don't want to haul that door. I don't want to haul that door. Like I got to stack that son of a biscuit on my vehicle. I got to strap that thing, especially when you don't got a service van. I'm like, I got to strap that thing down so it doesn't come off and kill some innocent bystander down the road. I got to listen to this thing running down the road. Clinky clank, clunky clunk, vibrate this, wind this. Oh my gosh, what's it doing? Then I gotta it's already hot, man. Then I gotta do something with it. Like I gotta dispose of this thing. Now I gotta take it back off the truck and swing it around and throw it. And I know, right? No big deal, right? No big deal. But it takes time. No matter what, you can't disagree that it doesn't take time. And so time is money. So for this one, I told him, I said, hey, if you want us to dispose the door, it's $60. I said, otherwise a scrapper, because I asked this last customer because he didn't ask. I just said, hey, do you want us to take the old door? And he said, does it cost extra? And I said, yes. And he said, well, I got a scrapper, which he's already gotten, like they're gutting the place. So I'm like, it'll be great for the scrapper. And so most of the door was down, but we had to take down some track. Mr. Caleb was messing with it and he was trying to break it. Like I showed him how you stick it in the grass and you give her a hee ho and she'll crinkle on you and you got her bent like a V. And I'm like, hey man, don't even mess with it. Like, just go over there and like chuck it over in that pile. It's out in the yard, dude. Like that's the scrapper, dude. Like, and that's going to save you seconds and time and the potential of getting injured. You know what I mean? Because the more you struggle and try to bend that and something happens, you slice your hand, it hits you in the face. You just never know. Be back, he said. Be back. Be back. I put it up. I drive out there. It's a rare when I don't get to do repair or sell a job. 90% of my work is repeat customers or recommended from previous customer. True. I agree. I see. Oh, okay. Okay. So he says, Ivan, I agree. I still would like to see pictures. Oh, it's so much easy. It's so much easier nowadays with all the pictures. Is it Rosanna? We see you. You're blowing it up here. Good morning. Is it morning? The Philippines. Oh, morning. Holy cow. Hello, everyone. Hey, can't blame her for being nice. Good morning. Um, exactly, Rich. My service line percentage is the same. Ba, 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 ba. Oh yeah, I see Eric jumped in down there. It's been a while. That's right. Where you been, man? You been hiding out? You been busy? You been working? Trying to dodge the heat? I was just talking about the fan I still got that I bought that you recommended, working like a charm. Selling percentage is the same. I was meeting new customers, and they see you're knowledgeable and trustworthy and willing to give you thousands of dollars. Rusty, that helps with pricing as well. Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm still earning for more with it a little bit. Ooh. So before I get off topic on that, but like I said, I'm still kind of on that selling. You know what I mean? I look at it like this, right? And then I think what happened with us at some point there was a point that we like didn't have any time, and we were just so busy. And so I kind of look at it like I'm like, if you're, how do I explain it? It's like if you're slow or you got the time, then I would say absolutely, like go out to the customer. Especially if it's close, right? If it's close, it's like a no brainer. But when we had stuff that sometimes was you get an hour and a half, 2 hours away. No, 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 no. I'm not. That's just too much time in the truck and in a van, or that's just too much. So I always look at the time. And it just all depends on the situation. I mean, like depending on what the customer, I mean, if they call up and they're like, hey, we want 4 full view glass doors and we're on Lake Michigan. Well, that's a little different story. That's a different customer. But when we get a lot of our tire kickers, it's like, hey, can you take a few pictures? They take a few pictures. You tell them, say, hey, that's something that's going to be $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. That's going to probably need. And they just go, oh my gosh, oh no, I found one on Marketplace for $100. And you're like, yeah, you should probably go get that. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of like some of ours where it's like, I'm so glad I didn't drive to that. Um, this one, I called them once. This was actually through Facebook. So maybe you should entertain the old Facebook world. Let's see if I can pull it up a little bit so I can hear. Where is it? Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. Was I dealing with him through Messenger? No, I just sent him a picture. I sent him a picture of the opener. I said, hey, would you want this? Because I already seen. Oh, because this one wasn't very far. So I did a detail. But for this guy, he's kind of a high-end guy. He's not there. It's all like subs. You know what I mean? Like nobody. And it was funny because when I was there, I kind of was thinking about it, right? Like when we were there was like, I couldn't tell you. It's like I kind of lost count. There were so many roof contractors that showed up, and like I didn't have the heart to tell them, but I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of going like, I know this guy already found me through Marketplace. Like it's a rock bottom. Like it's a what do you call it, a loser lead, whatever. Like you're gonna like this is like, you want something cheap, buddy, here you go. So anyways, there's all these roofing guys showing up, right? And I'm kept like, one guy even came and he's like, hey man, he's like, can I use that ladder? And I'm like, that's not even mine. I'm like, but you can use it. And then he's like, hey, by the way, like, do you by chance got like a tape measure? And I'm like, yeah, I got a tape measure, dude. He was real nice and stuff, but there was just so like these guys kept, and I wanted to be like, hey, just so you know, like you're like the 10th person, so you're bidding, you know, it's a bidding war over here. And then like I still couldn't understand the one roof guy because I told him, I said, hey, I said he kind of wandered up and he's asking me, he's like, are you the owner? And I'm like, no, I'm like, I'm not the owner. And he said, well, um, okay, well, my name's whoever. I shook hands with him. He's a nice guy, but he seemed like a real estate agent type. Um, and I said, well, hey, man, I said, there's a ladder. I almost was going to tell him, hey, there's another roofing guy. There's a ladder still sitting over there from him. But I just said, hey, there's a ladder over there if you want. Oh, I don't need to get on the roof. I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, we use this like software. You can, I'm like, oh yeah. And I got a roofing buddy. So I kind of said, yeah. And I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole and him to whatever, know him or something. And I said, isn't it like $60? And he's like, it's like 33. He's like, yeah, you just pay for it. It automatically like will give you the whole dimensions. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then, so he never really explained to me very good, but I kept telling him, I said, why do you still have to come out here? And he's like, well, I got to take pictures. And I'm like, why I gotta take pictures? Like, because it can't show you the belly, it can't show you the drip. You know what I mean? Like not just. But anyways, what my point was, I seen these guys, and I wanted to be like one out of whatever has been here so far. That little bit I've been here out of 10 is going to get this job, and so. The one guy that came, he was like, man, he's like, yeah, he's got a boat on the back. He's got a nice truck, but he's got a boat in the back. And I was telling Kill, I said, don't show up with a boat. He said he's got too much money. And he goes, man, yeah, I came all the way from, where was he from? He was from Holland. And he's like, I came from Holland. He's like, I want to go to Grand Rapids and drop my boat off. So he's like, I just came up here, and I'm just like, okay, Mike, that's cool, man. So I just thought that was funny. But anyways, when I was thinking about like the roofers to the garage door guys to the siding guys, and I went, all of you, the who was it? The one roofer that was the real estate guy. And I was talking to him. We walked through the whole house, checking it out because it's in shambles. We walked around the I mean, the guy had, all of 15, 20, 30 minutes there. And his drive, you know what I mean? So I'm like, you just lost an hour of your day, you know what I mean? An hour of your day, and you got X amount of roofers behind you, and you didn't meet the owner. The owner's not even here. You know what I mean? He has never been here, as far as I know. So, you know what I mean? It's just kind of a different, like, I look at it like where I swear I'm like, where I just dealt with them all just via text and pictures. See pricing. Kevin's got it. He says, yep. He says, we have a Holloway fee. Got to pay for dumpster in time to load and unload it. Yes. But see, like, I think it's easy for some people, including myself, right? It's like you look at that and it's like, yeah, but that's like $10. Yeah, but that's $20. That's $30 for scrap. I mean, what are you guys getting? Anybody? What are you getting at the scrapyard for like a 16x7? Just a hollow door, non-insulated hollow door, track, spring. I mean, what are you getting? 10, 20, $30? You know what I mean? Anybody's taking one there alone, you know what I mean? Instead of like a pile. And I mean, don't get me wrong, $20, $30, especially if you're starting out. Free Holloway, or they can keep it. Because it's weird, because like, so Rusty says, free Holloway, or they can keep it, right? And I do kind of relate with that a little bit, because I was talking to the wife of Tron one day, and I said, could you like imagine? I said, but I guess if they give you an option, I said, but could you imagine like somebody doing your roof and they throw all the debris down, but they're like, well, that costs extra. And you're like, what? What do you mean that costs extra? That costs extra. So you don't haul away like the shingles? Like, no, that costs extra. But if they broke it down, right, a little bit and said, hey, if you pay, or, because I've had that, right? You do tear off, it'll save you, $4,000 or something. And it's like, heck yeah, man, I got a bunch of little rugrats and whatever. And I still got one strong arm, I can do that. I'll save the money. Um, so it just kind of like, but when I heard that, like, I'm not a garbage hauler, and I just thought, man, the way he mentioned that, I just thought, I'm not a garbage hauler. I thought, yeah, I mean, that is a piece of their property. I mean, that'd be like a piece of furniture, right? Like if they're like, well, hey, can you take this dresser that's been sitting here? I'm not a garbage hauler. Like, well, yeah, I can. It's $20. I mean, I got to take it. I got to haul it. I got to store it. It's weight, right? I mean, all the trucks go by weight, right? When you get doors delivered, right? It's a weight type of thing, right? More weight, more stuff on the truck, more weight, more fuel, more wear and tear, tires, everything, right? So I just kind of thought, and like when we were done, I was pretty beat up. I was like, man, it's already pretty hot. I was like, man, I'm glad I ain't got to load that door. And they just never stack as good as what you want. And like, oh, dang truck, stuff nuts and bolts. Y'all have that ever happen, right? You're driving down the road, all of a sudden something falls. You're like, what was that? Like that was a rock? No, that was a garage door roller. Holy crap! That about shattered my window, or it does chip your window. Ooh, look at Rich. Look at Rich. Always thinking Rich. I love Rich. Dave, you have to cut the center of the sections and fold them in half, dude. They ain't gonna fit in my little pick 'em up truck. You have to see when that video comes out, man. Holy cow, the truck was packed. The only reason I did the ladder rack was because otherwise I have no room. Otherwise I got to rent a U-Haul. You know what I mean? I have no room. And we had a heck of a wind noise on that thing. I don't know what it was. Hopefully this time it's better. So I had to put a door up, and then I had to put it so I could put tools, and then I'm scratching my head sitting there going like, if I had like, how would you even like orchestrate this for wintertime? Like I'm like, all my stuff, some of the stuff sticking out, right? It's in the weather. Like how do you like encapsulate a garage door opener with a rail? I got stuff sticking above, so I'm like, a tonneau cover wouldn't work. A topper probably, I guess, would kind of work, but you like it'd have to stay on all the time. Where this is kind of a real quick, easy on, easy off type of thing. What you got? What's steel? Steel, like a steel door, like scrap metal steel. Is that what we're talking about? I was talking about steel, not a fiberglass. Or did I mess up something? Mr. Freeze. What's up, Eric? What you got? What you got? Near me, customer called the other door companies. Like 10 of them showed up at the same time. Oh my gosh. When the guy got piss punched the customer, oh my gosh, had to testify against him in court. Oh, that would not be fun. Not fun at all. And come to think of it, like the one guy that had the boat, like I don't know, he was doing like a slow roll, and then like my daughter was kind of like, what is this guy? And I'm like, he's obviously like got a boat, so he's either picking up the neighbor, or I was like, he's here to look at a roof, and I don't know. And he like swung back down and came back around, and my daughter was, she was like 11, so she was like freaking out for a second or something. And I'm like, it's fine. It's another contractor. It's another one. And anyways, but after he was gone too, that other guy, one guy showed up, and I was just kind of like, man, you guys are stacked. Like, you guys are really good at just missing each other. Maybe he drove by and seen him and just waited till it was gone. I don't know. But I've had it too. I did one. I remember at the airport. We showed up there. There was our competition was there. It was like kind of like a joke, and it's like, hey, while you're up there, you want to tell us what the dimensions are? And it's like, do we trust him? Like, what if he tells us they're wrong, and we bid this, and then we get it, and then we order the springs and it's the wrong? And they were big springs too, like 6-inch springs or something. So it was like, Sky, what's up, Sky? Cheers. Customers dig to the customer pay for everyone's service calls or service call. I don't know if it was for the roof. I'm sure not. But and then obviously for like Rusty, that's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm saying I think it's a very like you have to make the determination on how you kind of want to do it. I'm just not a big believer. I think personally, if you are, I think there's a couple different ways, but for one, if you're answering the phone, you can tell a lot. And I mean a lot by somebody on the phone. Screaming kids in the background, dog barking, cats meowing, the way they're talking, the way they're fumbling over stuff. I mean, there's so much I can tell. Me personally, I can tell over the phone. And sometimes right then and there, I already start dodging them. Like when they're, how you get that customer? You get that customer, and it's like, why? It's just got a broken extension spring. I replaced it 20 years ago, but I just need this one extension spring, just the one. I don't. Everywhere I've gone, they're selling them in a pair, and I don't need a pair. And I'm just like, this is going nowhere. Like there's just nothing. Like I'm gonna get them in a pair too, or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, sir. You know what? And I'm like, we really don't mess with extension springs. I'm like, you're probably better off calling like this other place. But if I was just starting out and I need $20, then I probably do something. I might be like, yeah, I'll eat the other spring, or I'll charge you this, or I'll go entertain it. But there's just certain things that we just won't do. But there's this thing. It's great, right? Especially for me, or the way I've always viewed it was that, like, if you have a secretary, the first thing they should be doing, or yourself, is like, can you send me pictures? You know what I mean? Because you can't be there in like a minute, right? You can't be there in 2 minutes. So there's time that's accumulating that either they can send it to your phone or send it to the secretary can send it to the technician or whatever. But there's time that if they are there, and they can, some people can't, and you got to go from there. But you should be getting some kind of picture so you could see something. So if you see the garage is packed to the ceiling with boxes, you can go, ooh, or if you see a picture and for some weird reason it's their barn, which I've been there, didn't realize it was the barn, and it's I don't have a tall enough ladder for that. A picture sure as heck would have helped. What happened after the guy we knew that was there didn't get the job? Man. Oh, so he says, did you see SOS with that one piece 16x7? I don't think so. What was it, Rich? Give us some insight. What was some insight? Might have to check it out. See what Mr. SOS is up to. I was trying to think of how you could do it. I don't know if I can really do it through like YouTube, but I was kind of like going to do do like a call out to Mr. SOS. He's a good dude. But I wanted to see, I don't think I've ever seen how he hauls doors. I think he uses a Toyota Tacoma, I think is what he runs. And I thought, I wonder what his ladder, I know he's got some kind of ladder rack, but I just thought it'd be kind of cool to be able to see what, his ladder rack looked like with some doors on it. I just was like, because if you see my setup, oof, it's a little off. It worked, but a little off. But I think it can be some good information. Like I was really trying to think, I was trying to put myself in that situation. I was like, what would I do if I was Cousin Evan? Like, what would I do if I had a Blazer? I was like, how would I was like, you could do a hitch. I've seen those ones, right? The hitch, but how do you do the front? I was like, you almost need to put a hitch on the front, right? Put a hitch on the front, then you could bridge across it, because you know how it is. When they give you those ladder racks, they're only like a foot apart. You can't haul nothing on those things. Let's see here. What do we got? And if you guys got, like I said, throw them up there. What are we at? 9? We're at 9 o'clock. 9 and some change. Bingo. All right. Busy. Oh, it says I need to do more door jobs, but I've been busy with mowing. Oh man, you're probably sweating. You've been sweating. It's been toasty out. sure it's been pretty toasty where you're at. Carnival and fixing air conditioners to sell. Was it says on Ripoff Place? I've been looking at one of those portable ones because the shop is down, man. The guys have got to be just dying. So I was looking at a portable one. Maybe I can show it. Let's see if I can show it here. Don't know much about them. I mean, it's portable. It kept this little office. Their office is bigger than ours. It was a mechanic shop. Let's see if I can find it. Close. Where are you? Pictures. Picture. Don't be buried too far. Picture. It wasn't too long ago, I don't think. But anyways, I was thinking about it. But the problem is I got to drill a hole in the wall to vent it out. I did think about the exhaust vent above the bathroom, but I thought, then you got the exhaust fan. And I just thought about it'd be my luck to catch on fire or something get too hot or, so then it's like, there's no windows. There is 2 doors in the shop, but I just thought a portable unit for the time being, at least, would sure nice just to cut the mugginess off in there. Cause man, there's nothing worse when you're doing paperwork and just chilling to try to relax for a few minutes. Here that unit is. This is it was just a Sam's Club unit. But I was thinking you can kind of get the gist of it, right? Focus camera. Focus. But anyways, it's got the exhaust. It goes out the window. Just a portable little unit. I know they're not the best, right? But for what, $400 or $500? I just don't know about drilling a hole through the wall. I'm just not looking forward to that. And then got to plug it. I'm going to plug it with great stuff and drywall on each side or a patch or just leave a plate on it. Kind of sucks. Sky says cheers. Probably Eric. What's it got? What's a store, Rusty? That's just crazy. Oh, Robert's here. I see. Price I charge. Everyone else covers the free estimate. Ooh. Exactly, he says. Yeah, I mean, I what is it like? I've heard this saying before. You guys let me know, right? I've heard this saying before. Like, it's like if you're not, what is it, like losing like 30% of your jobs, right? You're probably too low. So there's kind of like that always murky thing, right? There's that. And then there's like, okay, so for instance, right, the price I charged everyone else, so everyone else covers the free estimates. Okay, right. Okay, so I I can see that. But I guess it's I don't know. And like I said, I'm open for debate. I'm not saying there's a right way or there's a wrong way. I'm just saying the way I view it is, I guess there's only so much time on this earth that I'm left with, you know what I mean? And so I look at it like I don't want to waste my time if they're not serious. That's how I kind of look at it. You know what I mean? And it's not with everything. Obviously gates and fences or stuff like that. You got to go, you got to look. I can tell you that if I'm the one picking up the phone, I can tell instantly almost. Give me 5 minutes. And I'm like, I already know where this is going. I can already tell you. It was like a fun game we used to play. And you know what? Like about 80% of the time, I was right. Like I would tell them, I say, there's going to be garbage in the garage. They're going to have a 2-story. It's going to be attached garage. There's going to be a man door. You know what I mean? We'd go through these like scenarios. And especially when you start doing your area so much, the demographics of the like the houses, the age, like in certain areas, like they used to have model A's, Model T's, whatever. So that's going to be, it's going to be an 8x7 guaranteed. It's going to be a 1-piece door guaranteed. So there's just a lot of things that Like I said, that's why if they're, especially if they're calling and they're like, and you can tell, like, if there's like, well, I'm getting prices, I'm getting prices, I'm getting prices on doors, we're going to replace my door. I'm getting prices. It's like, all right, well, it's like the insurance one. We were going through a slew of people that were doing insurance. And it was like, I got so sick of just driving around. It was like, dude, I'm charging you $30. And I remember that lady just came unglued. She's like, I'm not paying, it says free estimates. I'm like, it is. It's like my buddy told me, he's like, yeah, it's free estimates, free estimate over the phone. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, but I mean, why? Like, I think what resonated with me is, like, I've said this before, I'll say it again, was when I went to a car shop and they charged me, it was $30. It was actually $30 for them to take my car. And I thought, could you imagine? Like, could you imagine taking your car? Like, if you own that shop and people just bringing you cars, man, bringing you cars in, and you're estimating all this stuff that needs to get done with these cars, your mechanic, your electricity, your overhead, the shop supplies, the rags, the uniforms, the toilet paper to the rugs on the floor, and even the front door swinging and closing and banging, right? And people sitting in your seats. Could you imagine all these people coming in, just constantly bringing their car to you for you to diagnose, and then for you to generate and pay for a secretary? You know what I mean? Pay for somebody. There's certain. Could you imagine? Could you imagine paying for all that, for this nice documented thing, all documented out what's wrong with their car and everything that needs to be done, and handing it to them and going, this is what it needs. It could be a $200 fix. It could be a 5,000. It could be a $1.2 million fix. You know what I mean? And they go, okay, thank you. I have to let you know because, well, I just don't know if I got that right now, but I'll get back to you. You know what I mean? And they take their happy ass down to AutoZone, and they go through and they pick all the parts for half the price, stuff that's not marked up 10%, and they go buy it and they take it to some some Jim Bob, or they do it themselves. That's kind of like when that resonated with me a little bit, where I was like, there's like, I always, customers will waste your time. Customers, there's just customers that don't understand, that aren't doing it on purpose. It's like the old people. When I've been at somebody's house, some other company, I'm like, what's up? And they're like, and then, they sit there. Oh, I forgot. I called them too. I thought you guys were the same people. And I'm like, no. I know you were in a panic. Like, do you got, maybe some people don't have family members in their life that are like mine, that are like, dude, like they panic, like car breaks down, I need it fixed now. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's fine. It's fine. You still have another car. You have another family member, or a husband or wife, whatever. They can still drive you. It's fine. But you understand, I need my car. And I know, but there's a process, like a mom, an elderly person, right? You know what I mean? Like, they want this stuff now. So but the car thing, like I said, I just could imagine how the car ship or a repair shop would feel about paying all their mechanics all the time for people to come in and diagnose. But yet you say, to me, where I go, well, but then I charge these other people so much, that they, you know what I mean? Like they cover that. Okay. What happens when the lift breaks? You know what I mean? What happens with, electric bill and your mechanic that you're paying hourly? See, so maybe that's why, here's another way to look at it too, right? and maybe I'm just putting this out there. I'm not saying for sure, right? But maybe it's because if you have employees, it's different, because when you're sitting there looking at employees and you're going, they could be on this job making X amount, but if you pull them over here, they're not in a sense, right? They're just wasting in a sense. It could be just a runaround. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird conundrum. He has a Toyota ladder rack. He took down the door with his truck. Oh, he took a door down with his truck. Nice. Just ripped her on out. How'd it go out? Did it go out pretty good, Rust? Or sorry, Rich? Did it go out, like, did it come out pretty easy, or did it like mess up the jam? Maybe put a cut down the center. Made it come out a little easier. What does it say? What do I expect peeves is replacing a singular spring. They need to be replaced in pairs. It's like tire, gloves. Yes, yes, absolutely. And this is why, kind of like that, another reason why that in the meanwhile, like if I could get a picture and I see there's two springs and I go, oh, I go, okay. So I tell the customer, hey, you got two springs up there. It's going to be X amount of dollars, and they might just have the mindset, dude, I got some crazy people around my area. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, no, like you don't understand. It's just the one spring's broke. And I'm like, okay, but I'm just telling you the other one had, no, 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 no. Just the one spring's broke. Like I don't need you to do both. I just need you to fix, like, I mean, like I used to work at a tire repair shop. I worked at like two, I think. And I mean, dude, you see some dog crap that comes in. Like people, I mean, I mean, they're just like, can you patch it? And you're like, I can, but like you don't tell them it was like, I don't know who you are. Like there's going to be no receipt and like you're just going to pay me cash. And like I've had it where I've done a spring clamp, I remember, and the guy called me and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "the spring clamp's working just fine." He's like, "Can I just leave it?" And I was like, "Mother fudgers!" Like I didn't get a service call from him. I was going to collect the money when I came back, right, to do the springs, and he was okay with it, everything, right. But then it's like you sit there, and it's like either I don't know what it is. It's some form of drugs or something. And it's like he's like thinking about it, like, why would I pay more? Like, how much just for what it is? Like, it's getting me by. It's working. So why would I pay any more? And I'm like, well, it's going to be like you're looking at like $75. I mean, that's the spring thing is $10. It's $65 back then for the service call. That's just how some people are, man. And I'm like, you really, and they, yeah, but I'm not, I'm leaving in like 2 weeks. Okay. But I mean, I'm just a renter and I got to pay for it. Well, can't blame them there. I mean, like if the landlord's not going to, I mean, okay. And that's why that's why I'm always a big fan too about, you get paid while you're there. If you do a or a spring clamp, I got to charge you for the spring clamp. I got to charge you for the service call. Hey, I'll take it off. It's going to be X amount. I'm going to take that off though, but I'm getting paid today for while I'm here because they changed their minds. Things happen. People, pass away or whatever. It's like me. I didn't get paid when I did the door. No, it's like what's going on with it. It was supposed to be paid on completion, and now I'm just waiting. They got every option. That's the thing too. It's not like I said, "Hey man, pay me under the table, pay me cash or something," and I know you got to scrounge up the money. No, it's you. You got the money, and you got all the options at your disposal. Pay up, sucker. Error is better for business if the customer wants to do one at a time. I'm gladly come back twice, and see like for Rusty, he's probably got like so like this is where I got burned one time, right? This was commercial though. We would go there, and there was kind of a semi manager there, right? And he'd be like, well, the other spring's working fine. And he was a very poverty mindseted type of individual, right? He's trying to save the company money, which is fine. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I didn't know the repercussions kind of either. Cause like there's X amount of dollars to do this, right? But I mean, it's like, it's another, 30 minutes to pop off another spring and wind it and all that. I mean, so it's nothing. It's nothing. But anyways, finally we get this phone call from the owner and he's a little bit ticked. I mean, he's like, dude, what is going on? He's like, you were just here. Like I'm looking at invoices. You were here like 3 months ago. I mean, and he's like, so what the hell? Like, are you selling me some Chinese springs? Are you not doing a good job? Like, what is going on? Like, why are you coming back to do the same? And I'm like, okay, man. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, here's what's been happening. No, he says, he's like that. You can't do that. Like, just no. And I'm like, okay, I'm with you. So like, we'd have to like hide the springs, like we'd pull them down and he'd be like wandering around and be like, where'd the other spring go? We could go put that down below. And I'm like, no, we can't. Cause we'd have them carry stock springs. And he'd want to save it. He's like, well, that still gets us out of a bind. It's like, yeah, but it's going to get us all confused, dude. Like we won't know if this, there's not a good way to like label them. Yeah, you can put tags on them. And I mean, we used to take the markers and mark on them like used so you could see it. There was all kinds of different things we were doing to try to keep, but it got to be a big pile in the corner and just, it just doesn't work. Oh, Eric says, I'm pretty toasty. I'm sitting in a chair listening to music and watching you. Nice. Nice. Were you out today? It was a hot one today, man. It's brutal. It is brutal. Uh, ooh, Robert. There's not a lot of there's some fanboys. We got some Liftmaster fanboys, man. They might whack you. That's okay. We're good. Is everybody ready for the new Garbage Liftmaster Resident lineup released in September? In case none of you know, they're going to Security 3.0 with all new frequencies. Ooh. I think that's where I think Cap got that messed up because I ended up placing an order through Rich B's vendor, and he gave me a model number, and I sent it over to I think we sent it over to Kevin, and Kevin was like, "What the hell is that? Is that a genie or is that like what is that?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's like I don't think they released this yet. Let me give you the model. And the one thing is, I did not see a model on their page because I got it from I think it was Jesse sent me an email. Looking for it right now. And I'm just like, these stinking models, man. I'm so sick of these models changing. I am so over it. He had he says, might as well snag some of those, two of each. Says the 20, so it's a 2220L, 2220L. And then this one's a 2420, 2420L. And I'm just like, what? So I think I seen the two, and then I could only find it through like Google. I was like, something's up. And then when Kevin was like, what is that? I'm like, yeah, they haven't released the new ones yet. So I'm glad Robert mentioned September. It's September, so that's good to know. But no, I'm not ready. I've been Texas has been sending me some information on them. Some of the programming is not looking good. The keypad, I think, I have no idea why, except for cost savings, why they'd have an exposed keypad. If I can find it, I'll try to show it. Ooh, Sky sent me something. Let me see here. But he had a good point about this keypad. And I thought, he's correct because the keypad, if it'll zoom in, it's going to zoom. Come on, camera. I don't know if you're going to see it or not, but anywho, the keypad. Oh, you booger. You're not going to work, are you? No, but the keypad's exposed. It's there's no cover. All it says is MyQ. It looks like all this stuff is just going to say MyQ on it. So it's not even, I don't know. To me, it's not even based of Chamber and Liftmaster. It's just MyQ. It's just technology. We're just a software company now. And so when he goes, I see it getting dirty and I see it turning yellow. And I went, ooh. And then who knows what the buttons, if the buttons in the sun will start cracking, not having a flip cover. And I thought to myself, I was telling the Wifertron this the other day. I said, could you what is the point? I said, I don't remember any time in my life, I said, where I was like, oh, this stinking cover. Like, I wish they would never put a cover on this stinking thing. Like that never crossed my mind. Never. Like, I mean, it keeps the snow, it keeps the elements, it keeps the water, it keeps the ice. Like, so why would they do it? Cost savings, right? All new accessories will be backwards compatible with old ones, just like the current ones are not coming with purple red. Oof. So you'll have to buy all new accessories. Imagine that. That's kind of how the world's going, isn't it? I just love it. Not really. We're okay, but you have a drain to deal with. Did I miss something on this one? Come out back twice. And home link won't work with what I understand unless you buy an additional accessory. What? Oh my gosh. Are we going back to the days of nightmare scenarios? Ugh. The home link. Oh man. I still remember back in what was it, like the 07, 08 or something. I don't remember exactly when it was that home link had issues. I just remember this dude from the military comes out and he's got a nice, it was like a Cadillac or something. And he's just like, you mean to tell me this new opener you installed won't link to my car won't link to this new opener, but my one from the 80s will? And I'm like, yes, sir. I'm like, please don't take off my head. Make you have to buy an accessory. And it's like, he just like looked at me like, what are you trying to sell me, kid? And I'm just like, I'm not. They decided to change something without letting us know. And there's a problem. And I guess basically, like General Motors, the car lobbyists, yes, they didn't meet in the middle. So they had to come up with a different idea. And now you got to buy this accessory, you got to plug into an outlet. And then, like if your power goes out, you still got to carry the regular remote in your glove box so your battery backup one will work. Isn't this wonderful? This is great. Thank you. I got it. I'll check it out here shortly. Might as well install a window shaker. Ooh, that's a good point. Maybe I should. The problem, those are they're energy hogs. Ooh, good to know. Good to know. Problem is, hopefully the new circuit board should be coming in for the mini split soon. But I don't know if it's going to work. So it's like, I feel like I almost want to buy the portable. And even if I just let it sit in a box somewhere, just for good luck for the universe. And then the circuit board. And then when it doesn't, I just go, yeah. And I cut it open and I'll drill a hole and I'll be like, bam, there you go. It's fixed for the time being until we either get another mini split or more parts. I'm not real sure the best way. Like I think I've looked it over. I don't see nothing shorted. I don't see nothing chewed. I think I'm just gonna put the circuit boards in. I think I am going to have somebody record and watch, and I'm gonna flick the breaker on real quick, just a one pop off. And if there's like any smoke or anything, I did check voltage on it. It was sitting at like 245. So I did a little bit of research. It sounds like that's okay, even though it's a 230 unit. It sounded like if it got up like 250 or higher, that was a little bit more of a problem. So I checked voltage. Voltage was all good. I don't see nothing. I'm just hoping I can pop in. I got one new circuit board already in. I'm hoping the second one comes. I'll pop that one in. Hopefully it was a fluke. But I'm definitely nervous about. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna detach, because the way it works is like it goes power to the mini split outside. The heat pump. I'm not using the right terminology. Rich is over there just grabbing his newspaper, ready to whack me. And then they got the evaporator, whatever you want to call it, inside the building. Well, that gets power from the outside unit. So I'm going to disconnect that, I think, just to eliminate process of elimination, because it's like 3 wires, I think. I'm just going to eliminate that, and I'll turn the power onto that. That way, if it goes kaboofy, I know it's isolated, hopefully, to that. And then if I hook up the one that's inside and it goes kapoofy, then I know obviously it's something internal that messed up, and I have to look a little farther. I went through, bought the cleaner, cleaned everything. That was a mess. That was a lot of work. I think I can make a full-time job cleaning mini splits from now on, because it felt like it took half a day. Robert. Got true on some vehicles. If you're really busy for weeks or backed up and you're not losing any bids, was it underpriced? I just went to a shop and see, I thought about doing this. I don't know if anybody else ever thought about doing this or has done this. I thought, I think it's the right way to do it. I think in a nutshell, but that was the day I was walking down the road. But this place told me it's if you want to wait 2 weeks to have the repair, We can put you in the schedule. It's going to be 2 weeks and it's 85 an hour. I'm like, okay. He says, otherwise we can expedite it and we can probably start tomorrow with the end up starting that day. It was 130. And I always keep thinking, like in business, I'm like, why don't we run it like airplanes, like an airplane ticket, right? You want service right now? It's this price. You know what I mean? If you want to push it out 3 days or a week or whatever you got, we can make it a cheaper service call. That's up to them. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll text you. He says, me and Neil don't get along. Yeah, I got the text. I get that. Take out the humidity. I do actually have one, but I got it like I think I bought it from I think the guy was growing weed. I don't know. He had two of them. One was like parts. It's like a pretty kind of industrial one, right? But the problem is it drips. So I guess I could buy one of those little. I think I even might have one still. I got a drip pump. I have to have it drip in there, and then I don't know where I'm gonna have it go. I guess like maybe in the toilet or something, because I don't have no drains inside the office. So, and I did use it one time in like a rental, and I was like it was a little bit better, but I wasn't real impressed because it's not obviously like cool in the air. It's just taking the humidity out. And I did it more or less because we were doing drywall. I was trying to pull it out, speed it up a little bit. So, but the problem is, like I said, if I put a window shaker, which I'm all about, man, I like those babies, but then I got to seal it. I also, it's not going to heat it I'm surprised they don't make one that does both. Do they make one? Anybody know about one that does heat and cool? But I just thought, yeah, I don't really need. It's a temporary thing, because the mini split's getting put in no matter what, or obviously, if we go some weird route like a whole furnace system or something. $15 estimates. That's half the price, man. I mean, I always kind of went off like Lowe's. We used to do like they had $30 what they charge for a detail. So like if we didn't get the job, they would give us $30. Like I think they charged the customer. It was like I thought it was like 95, maybe it was 65 or something like that. 45, could have been 45. They didn't make a lot, but I think they charged the customer something just for an estimate, and then they give us like 30. It was like weird. I think we didn't get the 30 if we got the job though. Like then that was just part of the door deal. What says it's figured in your monthly overhead. Think of it as advertising. What's it say? Dixie's, I'm just fixing that problem with Max Remote. Seemed like when they fix the problem, it's time to create a new problem. What jerks? Man, I'm with you. I'm with you. Does anybody else feel like I can live with the whole, like, I get if you like LiftMaster, there's a time and application, and like I was thinking about it. I was thinking about you guys the other day, and I was really thinking. I just told myself, I said, I'm pretty sure guys get the impression like, oh, he's just he's a genie guy, and I thought, honestly, like, I do not like setting up like the genie commercial openers. I don't like setting them up. I don't like setting limits on them. I don't like the digital. I don't like having not physical limits. I like the nylon nuts, you just you turn it, you do your adjustments, boom, man. I love that. I do. But I cannot tell you how many times I've had circuit boards. I've had problems, just callbacks. And so, and then like with LiftMaster right now, you guys have all these different models that I'm like, dude, now I got a whole nother set of models. It's like, dude, what in the flippy flops? And it's like, it's almost like they're getting to be like Menards, where Menards keep something for 5 years. And I've noticed manufacturers seem like they're starting to do this, kind of like with door sections. It's like they'll start like, they'll sunset it. You know what I mean? Because then that way it's like it kind of saves you, but kind of makes you mad, because if it's yours, or it's like a rental, or it's like your grandparents or your mom or your dad or whoever, like you need to buy a part. You're like, no, I just need one section, dude. Like I need one section. I can't get it. What do you mean you can't get it? It's like a door section. Can't get it. They don't make that model. They don't make that thickness anymore. It won't line up. It won't fit. It won't look right. They made the squares different. Well, I just need one section though. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't like they're doing this but by design, and that's why I'm getting a little irritated with LiftMaster because it's like they're turning into General Motors, and it's like quit fudging with this stuff. You know what I mean? Make a damn V8. Come on, this is supposed to be America. I mean, we're supposed to have the finest manufacturing. We're supposed to have all these great things, and we can't even make a damn V8 anymore. Come on, man. I mean, it's a garage door opener. It just needs to go open door. You know, when you can't even do that anymore, it's like these things just got these weird glitches, and it's like this is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to deal with this crap. That's why I said Eric would be happy. I've been hugging the used openers a little more. I've been kind of savoring them, maybe keeping I put a little plastic bag over them, sit out in the rain, but you know, it's okay. You know, I just because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna turn to that Uncle Tony. That Uncle Tony, you ever watch Uncle Tony? He's got the old hot rods and stuff a little bit. You know, he fixes them. Tanner's alive. Tanner, how's the heat been treating you? You got humidity over there, or is it like you got snowstorm over there? What's Kevin got? Better reason for home accessories to get more people to sign up for the MyQ. That's right. So they can try together a subscription plan. And that's one of the things that's kind of getting me. You know what I mean? That's what's getting me because I feel like we're so focused on a subscription, just like everybody else right now, right? Toyota, Ford, General Motors, they're all doing the same thing, right? They're trying to get you on subscriptions. They're trying to squeeze you for more money. And it's like, for golly sakes, and I'm all about, dude, like I am all about, I'll spend more money. I just, what did we buy? Like a few years back, right? We just paid like whatever, $1,200 or something for a freaking dryer. Who does that? Right. But I wanted quality. I wanted a Speed Queen. I wanted something. I don't like moving appliances. I despise moving appliances. Like, I think I had to do it enough as a kid. And that's why I hate it now. Like, anytime appliance, I'm like, can I fix it? Like, if I can fix it, I'm going to fix it. If I can, like, whatever comes in next, I don't want to do it for like 20 years. Like, I want to be like pushing daisies. You know what I mean? Like, I hate moving appliances. It's my biggest pet peeve. I don't even like drywall, but I'll do drywall, I think, over moving appliances. So I don't know. So everything's turned to subscriptions. We're not even worried about, it'd be one thing if we had a core solid machine, right? And if you want to put this little flux capacitor on it, like as an accessory, like give me the basics, right? Give me the mechanical limits or whatever. Give me something in there, some monitoring, whatever. That's fine. If I want to like put this accessory on it, like this brain, this hub, that's fine. I'm good. I'm game. Okay. The customer wants all the bells. Not a problem. Watch this customer. Boom, plug it in. Thing electrifies. There you go. It's all signed up to Wi-Fi. It's government controlled. It's government watched. It's everything. It's everything you ever want. You know what I mean? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want basic. I want core function. I want door open. I want it to close. What does it say? I know that cleaning. I'm trying to look here real quick because where is it? Got something over here. Got a cat that's like super freaking out. I don't know if it sees something or what. The cleaning, I know. I sent Rich B the cleaning of it. It was bad. Like, it was bad. Like, the thing was, it was dirty. I didn't realize. I guess what was it, like every month a thing should be cleaned. Sorry, that's not been happening. It's like I said, I was trying to. It's been like it's had like 2 oil changes its whole life. It's been horrible. But now that I know what I know and I've learned what I learned, it'll be serviced much better, much better. Only thing I don't know for sure if anybody's got, even if Rich B, is like, do you use any kind of cleaner, like any kind of degreaser? Do you use like just some Dawn dish soap? I use just pretty much everything water. That's worked okay for spraying stuff out. Lifts, well, those cows. So you got to give them to the pigs, right? The pigs is what eats everything, right? You don't want no evidence. Don't tell Tanner's wife. When she wants to get rid of them, that's where he'll be. He'll be in the pig farm. Ooh, demand pricing like concert tickets. There you go. That's a way to think about it. I just think sometimes, like I said, I always wanted, I never really did it, but I always wanted to like offer, we did kind of mess around one time with some like, uh, what do you call it? Emergency service, but I don't know how to explain it, but it gets kind of weird and gray. Like customers like kind of get it, but they don't, where it's like, I just thought it'd be more simple where it's like, if want us to come out, like I just liked how that guy explained it to me. He's like, we can expedite it. Like we could basically start tomorrow. Or you can wait 2 weeks. And I'm like, yeah, like I don't want to wait 2 weeks. Like I'm like, this thing's leaking. It's got a problem. Let's just get it done, dude. I'm like, to me, I'm just like 85 to 130. I'm like, that's like, now if you would have probably said like, 250, 300, I probably wouldn't. Yeah. Said, I think I might wait on that. Cause that's kind of, I don't know how many hours it's going to take. And, yeah, but when he said that, I was just like, dude, and if you got the time, you're willing to do it. You know how hard it is. You know what I'm saying? Like mechanics are really hard and everything is so dicey nowadays. So it's like when you get service, you're just like, you got to take it now. Has a heat and it's for grow rooms. Oh, AC. Maybe I'll see if I can take a picture of this. Let me see if I can snap a old picture of this. So I'll check it out tonight. When you're scrolling, you're laying in the old bed. It just kind of dawned on me where I was just like, they make AC. I'm surprised they don't make heat, like window shakers, But I think I did have one that was the portable one. Didn't work. It was kind of like, it was like in between. I think my mom got it or something. It was like, it might have been because it was free or something, but it just didn't work that good. Every single new, let's just say, hang on here. Hold the phone. Hold the phone, he says. Trying to bring this up. There we go. Says every single new LiftMaster original opener will have a camera. Oh my gosh. Really? Will have a camera. So they are trying to get everyone on a subscription somehow. I'm not going to lie. That kind of breaks my heart. I guess we'll see, man. Is it weird for me to say that I feel like LiftMaster has gone so far on the other end that it's basically a General Motors. Maybe it's a liberal company of some sort. Does that make sense? Am I saying this right? Like I'm like it like they got shareholders and they got government stimmy money that basically the blue collar small businessman, small town, hometown, countryman, farm man out there that basically they don't give a rat's ass about them. That's just how I feel. I mean, like even if you watching this or even myself was to say, you know what, we're not buying it. I'm not buying it anymore. I'm not going to deal with this crap. I'm not going to that. It still would not add up enough to that they'd still be around and they would still make the stuff. Kind of like John Deere. Like if you ever watched what is it, the millennial farmer, right? I mean, a big John Deere guy, but he's explained all the problems they've had and stuff. And they, maybe we should go red, or this or that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I just don't know. Like, I just don't know if our dollars really matter anymore at that point. So they've gotten so big, they don't even care. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like I see, it's kind of like General Motors or something like that. I've never gotten a phone call, right? How's your truck doing? Like, how many? Are you real happy with it? Like I'm, you know what I mean? Like real customer service. I just don't. So like, I don't want a damn camera on my. I don't want to explain to the customer and then for them to look at it and go, well, how do I get that? And I go, that's not me. Like, I mean, you gotta, and then, well, I want it now because I see it. Like, I gotta have it. It's kind of like I've had so many people when they have those built-in wall buttons. The built-in for the car, like they got to use them. Like I'm like, you can just put a remote on the visor. It's going to work better. It's going to be faster. It's going to be more efficient. And they're like, no, I don't want to look at it. I'm like, okay, but you got a baby seat in the back. I don't want to look at your baby seat. So I mean, but just but I got to use it because it's there. Those are show cows, so they're happy cows. Outside with new calf, she's not having her ladder moving around. Was setting up a customer's phone yesterday, and it was 99 for a year of video. 99. Wow. See, I don't know what to think. I go, man, $100. And then they're gonna up that. Everything always goes up. So it's like they're gonna the how it is, right? They're always just trying to get your credit card, and then then it's just hoping you're gonna forget about it. And then could you imagine how many openers are crossed just that are getting $100? Then it turns into 120, and then it's 200, and then it's then the camera doesn't even work anymore on the unit, but yet they're still paying for a subscription. You know what I mean? Yeah, know what I mean? Isn't it funny? I don't know if anybody follows crime, but it's amazing how much they're using cameras now too. So just think this will be another tool for them to be able to tell if you were, were you home, your neighbor drove by, all these things that'll be linked. It's getting pretty wild. Sir, if we schedule a service call for 2 weeks away, I think it's too much time for them to find someone else, unless they're a loyal customer. That is true. That is a good point. That is a good point. That is a good point. I would agree that I think you're right with that one. That time will kill you. The time will kill you. And the problem is sometimes, like what we've done, that's why we just turned customers away when we got so busy. We just would do commercial is because there's so much after, right? By the time you call a customer, so you already think you got 20 customers lined up. And by the time we'd start calling, I already found somebody else, or they wouldn't answer. You leave a voicemail. Like you got so much secretarial work behind the scenes it'll make your head spin. You know what I mean? And then you might get one or two out of the 20. You know what I'm saying? So it's better almost to cut them loose, from the get-go and say, hey, we're really sorry right now. We are super slammed. We can, put you, but you're talking. I don't know if that's something. And they're like, yeah, I'll just call around. If I can't, I'll call you guys back. And we always, they really appreciate, if you have somebody that recommend, they always like that kind of stuff. As long as you're humble about it, they normally understand. Washington had a mini split with both heat and cooling. Oh, think to look at the brand name. Oh, see, yeah, that's true. I mean, think about it, right? The hotels, theirs are built in the wall ones. But I'm thinking more like, like the wall, like a window unit. Why they don't, probably somebody does. Probably costs a little arm and a leg, but Dave, are you saying you're completely switching over to Performance openers? Yes. I still want to get my hands on one. That's what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. I do want to try one. I know they're kind of crummy, but they got the mechanical limits. Yeah, I don't know anybody else. I'm trying to think. Does Lanier still have mechanical limits? Go tier. There we go. Evan's got, when we move out, he says, I'll probably put in aftermarket home link. And if we have new Chamberlain opener, I'll probably have the home link synced to 315 external receiver. Maybe. Kevin O'Leary once said, Tesla isn't a car company; it's a data company. Ooh, this is good. I like this. Says it feels like LiftMaster is taking some approach. Who's to say they are going to sell your data down the road? Whoa, that is true. That is very true. Yep, I think you got a good point there, Kevin. I think that's a very, very good point. I think they're trying to, what are they trying to do? Like the 15-minute cities or something like that. And then, I just kind of feel like that's, I just, I know, I just don't feel like they're taking care of us anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're just not even, that doesn't even phase them. So it's kind of one of those things where I'd like to say, hey, vote with your wallet. But to be honest, I think there's a point that they hit and it's like the government gets infused and they're giving them so much, like they're like, hey, like we can pay you behind the scenes if you get this. And they're just like, we don't even have to build quality stuff. We can build junk as long as we're selling the data and we're getting subscriptions. The rest, who cares? You know what I mean? And hey, if the opener only lasts, I think I sent something out to Tony and Rich B about something that only lasts for 2 years. Now make it only lasts 5 years type of thing. And we can sell more. And I think that's just what we're moving into. And I think that's bullcrap. And so that's why, like I said, I've kind of been hugging on to the older openers. And I'm like, maybe there's going to be a market eventually where it's like you can like just sell these. You're making better money because they just need a simple little part. It's pretty much pure profit, you know what I mean? Because you got it for free, and you can trust it. You know what I mean? Like I know what it does. I know the history of it, but the new stuff, psh, and that's why I'm always kind of telling a lot of the guys, and that's fine. And I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but I'm always kind of like, I don't want to be the guinea pig. Like when the new ones come out in September, good luck. You know what I mean? Have fun. You know what I mean? Because I guarantee we don't live in a society anymore. Otherwise, like General Motor would have what is the 6.2 blown up engines. If they would have done the testing, if they would have polished the shaft like they were supposed to, the crankshaft, instead of being so cheap that they, instead of making a couple more revolutions and polishing it, refining it, you know what I mean? But it's like these places are just they're getting so technology innovative where they keep it down to be just to meet this, just to get it out of warranty. As long as they get 2 or 5 years, they'll be fine. You know what I mean? Which I don't even understand how that works anymore. I don't even understand how that works. Like I don't understand how like a company can do that because you would think, but there's just so many naive people out there that just don't go, I'm not buying that again. I mean, it's like the Lawn Boy. I've told you about the Lawn Boy, right? We had a Lawn Boy. It ran forever, beat the crap out of it, right? Finally, we go buy a new one, bought it from Walmart. It's a Lawn Boy. What's wrong? Well, I got bought out. They made it a lot cheaper product. It was the biggest pile of crap we ever had. Nope, we will never buy a Lawn Boy. I don't even know if they sell Lawn Boys anymore, right? That company's gone. That name's gone. I mean, maybe not, but you know what I'm getting at. But people will just, keep buying some of this stuff, or it's just like, I don't know. I'm not digging it. They've gone woke. That's probably a good way to put it. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not saying like, oh, Genie, man, Genie. Hey, they got problems too. You know what I mean? But they're just the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry basket was what I have found. You know what I mean? I just can't. And it's sad. It's sad. I hate seeing the business industry going that way. You know what I mean? I don't like it. Do you buy a bunch of LiftMasters before they change over, or will they continue to sell current ones for a while? That's a great question, Rusty. I don't know the answer to that. I will not be buying a bunch prior. You know what I mean? Probably not. I don't know. In my head, I still think this is just me. I still think about the screwdriver. I just think you should just sell all screwdrives. You know what I mean? I don't know why I like the screwdrive so much. I don't know why. I really don't. I've thought about it. I've laid in bed and thought about it sometimes. I go, I don't know why I like the screwdriver. I don't know if it's because of how the force works and you're running a screw, versus a jerking of a belt, and the belt, like for one, right, the belt, like Papa Tony had an issue, right, where they tightened the belt up too much and the lift master wouldn't move. So that's an issue. I don't like a saggy belt. You know what I mean? That's just me. So you can put it too tight, you can have it loose, and I don't like it loose. I like the simplicity of it. I can stick stuff on top of the rail that's already existing there, as long as I got sticky pads. It can slam it up to a ceiling, no problems. Supposedly I can change the speed. I haven't done it personally, but Texas told me about it, showed me how to do it. So it's got a slow, medium, and fast, and it's fast. You know what I mean? So if you get somebody who wants a fast door, bam. I don't know. I just like it. Great question though. Thanks for it, Rusty. I do appreciate it. You let me know, but I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows if they're gonna sunset the rest of them. I don't know. That's a good question. Oh, Rusty, I've seen the new units, DIY LiftMaster up here. I see pictures some places down there carrying the new accessories. Yeah, that is true. That's a good question. I would like to get my hands on the new Genie. I don't know the model that one's got some weird long model with it. I guess they're selling them at Home Depot. I always know the rails. I haven't done a rail, but I remember SOS talking about it. The rails are kind of junk, putting them together, but I think they're probably right up there with Guardian. You know what I mean? They're just kind of pieced together. The tube rails for the Chamberlain are pretty decent. You know how they clip together. Linear has DC operators now, so no more manual limits. God darn it. God darn it. Mechanical limits are completely obsolete up here. I think linear moved to digital limits. I might be wrong about that. Well, it sounds like you're right, because Robert was saying the same thing, which makes sense. Does not surprise me. It's going to be so sad. I got to go back to the Performance Max, whatever. Oh, man, it's going to be sad if I got to be using those. So I think you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Obsolete. Yes. Tesla, the band rocks. Yeah. So yes, it says yes. Flare cameras all over now. Cameras. All right. Same to you, Sky. Thanks for being here. Hope you're doing good. I'll check your stuff out. I won't message you though. I won't wake you up. Going to sell your data. It's in the small print. I still try to baffle or think about the idea of like with the smart meters. Like, what do they do with it? Like, what are they like? I don't think I'm getting anything in the mail or anything like that. Like, I don't doubt there's data there, but it's like funny because I've noticed like, what was it? What was I watching? I was watching something. There's the Trump and there's the Epstein and there's, and it's funny because I noticed like if I've been watching a little bit on the Trump side, right? And it's funny because how they're like they target what you watch. So it's funny to see the other side because it sees that I'm picking up on that a little bit. So it's showing me the other side. So it's kind of interesting where I'm starting to get some of that feed and I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of interesting because I'm like getting like the CNN, type stuff where it's kind of like, oh, it's feeding me the other side. So it's always like we're on that dividing, right? It's kind of Republican, Dublin crap, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of, but it's just, I'm still with the George guy, right? It's one big party and you're not part of it. Neither am I. Dave, do you have issues with Genie screwdrive limits getting off after a year or two? It seems to have been an issue with the retail units. Not really. I don't remember anything. I remember there was something with the certain models with the RPM sensors that had a big, like somebody like, I don't know if they're over tightening them at the factory or something. So they're cracking. Because Jeannie like kind of confessed about it, and then they sent us a bunch of overkill. You know what I mean? Like they sent us like a whole box. They're like, here, like we're sorry, and that's okay. And I know that put like put a bad taste in Cap's mouth. So then he was kind of going back to Liftmaster, but then he's kind of reverted back and he says, I think I might start using Genie again because he said we're just having, I don't know if you guys are noticing, but the wire, I was just doing it the other day and I knew it was Chamberlain wire. And I'm just like, what the hell? I'm like, I'm trying to like snip it and I'm like, it won't snip right. It's like they made the wire so thin. It's just not right. And so he's having photo eye issues and just weird ghost where it's like, when you have a certain ghost, like what were we doing the other day? We were setting a Genie or something. And I was explaining to Caleb, I was like, where you set it and program it, that's where it will stay. I was like, it doesn't go an inch past like I have to do with the Liftmaster, Chamberlain. Where it's like you're always like on the down, you're always like, kind of like one of the most important ones. I'm like, why can't they do it on the up? I'd rather have it on the up. It's going to screw up on me, not the down. The down is my down, man. I got to get the pressure just right for my seal. I don't want to over torque it. You know what I mean? But like, I'm always kind of guessing. You're watching the give in the door and you're watching your bottom seal and you're like, yeah, let's try that. And then you try that and it does this like beep, 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 and it does a cycle and that and it goes down and you're like, fudge, like that's not it. Go through, do it again, run up, down, go a little more this time. And you watch it, beep, 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 does a whole cycle again. Then it's too much this time. God darn it. Like, as I said, most of the time I just start messing with the J arm. I'm over it. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I'm just gonna screw with the J arm. I'm the hell with moving this thing. What day did I read that all? Genie screwdrivers. Oh, did you ever have issues with the Genie screwdriver limits off? I think this is the same one, right? Getting off here, whatever, right here, off a year or two, and having to go and adjust them every 6 months or so. No, I don't remember that. I remember a lot of like we'd have the red light of death, where it just light up red and you try to unplug it and you plug it back in, you wait 5, whatever, even 5-10 minutes, don't matter. You plug it back in, it's just red light of death. That's what we always call it, the red light of death. It's like something's wrong with it. Circuit board. It's like you call tech support and they're just like, both red lights on? You're like, yeah, both red lights are on. They're like, yeah, it needs probably a circuit board. And you're like, okay, well, like we're not playing this game. So we're just going to change out the whole head unit because I know how this goes. And so that's why I mean, personally, like I said, I'm kind of bummed because I think you can still get them from Home Depot. The piece together rails. And I just keep thinking I'm like, just buy them from the box stores. That way they just throw that thing right back in a box. You take it back, you deal with some nice teenage blonde hair, blue eyed beauty. And she's like, what do you want to do, sir? And you're like, I just want to take this thing back. And she's like, okay, customer satisfaction is my guarantee. And you're like, great. And she's like, would you like a in-store credit? Would you like to get another one? You're like, I'm going to go get another one. And you go up and you wave and she goes, you're all set, sir. Have a nice day. And you're like, bye. And you just do your thing versus, like you got to talk to your vendor and then you got to drive it to your vendor. And you got to explain, did you get an RGA? I knew I didn't get an RGA. They told me they were going to send me parts or, you know what I mean? Like it just, the list goes on. I just want, I don't trust any of it. Like anytime, even the tech support, sometimes they tell you, it's like, unless they start giving us like a scan tool we can plug in, which I think the Genie does have something. I've never seen one though. I seen they got the ports. Anybody ever plug into those? I never plugged into them. Maybe they're for accessory though. I think there is one that's for a battery backup or something. But I was told the one was for diagnosing. I'm like, what kind of tool are you using for diagnosing that? I've never seen it. Remember, I guess one email me. So, but red light of death, I've seen that. Lightning storms, they'll whack them, That seems to be an issue I ran across with most retail units. There are 0 professional models in our market, only the retail units. Interesting. I do know there is something, if you do your homework, there is, if anybody knows, I always forget this part, but it's always, what is there? There's like a 60 volt and then there's a 140 volt Genie. And I didn't know that. so I think it goes by the color, but some people, it's not very clear to me. Like, that's why they had the kind of that bluish gray color one to the blackhead unit ones. And one's kind of like a retail, one's, so one is better though. One is better. So it might have a little better internals. It's the higher voltage, maybe the motor's not running, struggling as hard. It's kind of like a 110 versus a 220, things like that. So just be aware there is. So, that's why, I never really minded, except if you lose the clips for the retail units for the screw drives. I mean, they always just kind of pop together. You put your clips together. I don't remember too many problems with those. I mean, yeah, the rail might have a little bit of sag, nothing crazy, nothing problematic. The professional line, yeah, it is nicer, but if you don't have it, but I don't know. I didn't mind it. Like I said, unless you lost that clip, then you were done. But some of are old enough, struggle with what's it say here? Some of are old enough to struggle with large print. What's this? Robert Scott says, Dave, you also blonde hair, girl voice. Well, that's what you don't normally always get that, but once in a while you get a brunette, not blonde, but you get a brunette there. You know what I mean? So, and I just always remember because we worked for Lowe's and they used to always say, which I know there's something that changed. Now I checked ours, but Lowe's has changed something. I guess with their electronics, like you only get it's a very small window where you used to get like 30 days or something changed. So I checked ours, but supposedly ours did not. And I thought it was going to relate to openers. I think it was something to do with their, it was like their wash machines and dryers and stuff like that. And I was like, those criminals, like, how dare them? Like, you can't bring it back. Like, they give you a very limited time window, like a day or something. And I thought, oh man, that's not good. If they do that for openers, that's going to suck. But it didn't look like it applied in my area, but I was watching it. I don't know if somebody sent it to me. One of you might have sent it to me and I was watching it, or I might have came across it organic. I can't remember, but so I just thought, man, that's something you got to watch. You know what I mean? Like, the return policy here, because that's their saving grace. And if that's going to be a crappy return policy, well, then you might as well just go back to your vendors. And then you're just going to have to deal with it. So, but anyways, with Lowe's, they always used to we have 100% customer satisfaction. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, we installed the opener one time and, the customer wasn't happy, right? And I'm talking to the regional manager, right? And I remember I'm out at the shop. There's a maple tree right there, and I'm by that maple tree. I'm just pacing back and forth. I'm just ticked. And this guy, and he's like, "Well, here's the problem." And I'm like, "What is the problem?" And he goes, "Well," he says, "you did a detail at the job. I didn't personally, but one of the workers did." And I said, "Okay." And he goes, "It says in the paperwork, is there an outlet within 3 feet?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, and that's what it says on the paperwork. Is there an outlet within 3 feet? And that's what there was. I said, there was an outlet within 3 feet. I said, it does not say, is the outlet energized within the 3 feet? I said, a normal person would assume, right, that the outlet is charged, that it has power in it. I said, it does not say that on the detail. It just says, is there an outlet within 3 feet of the opener? There was. I said, does not say. He goes, well, but Lowe's strives for 100% guarantee, and I told him, I said, I don't understand what the problem is. I said, we told the lady she has no power in her garage. All her outlets, everything in the garage was dead. Her lights, everything's dead. And this lady just come out and she was like telling the technician, which, at the time it was my business partner, but she's telling him, she's like, she's like, you're going to be fixing that. And he goes, I'm not fixing it. He goes, I'm not an electrician. He's like, so he was running a extension cord to her house, to an outlet on the side of her house, and she was all upset about it. But anyways, they were sending electrician down there to figure out the problem. And I just couldn't believe it. It just blew my mind that they were going that far. And I told them, I said, we'll gladly, we won't be rude about it. I said, we'll go down there and take the opener down. I said, and it was it was like Kalamazoo, Michigan. It was a long distance. And I said, we'll go down there. And I said, we'll, take out the opener and you can just refund her money. And, basically, I mean, I was at the point, I didn't really care. I was ready to eat it. I was just doing it because of the, to make a point. You know what I mean? What is this? And I say phones are listening. So TVs are watching you. Yeah, right. We know. What's this? We got Don. What's up, Don? What's going on in the house? What's new? What's new? Well, if you guys got anything else, throw it up here. Like so, what are we sitting at about 10:19? We can give a few more minutes. I don't know. We'll have to see with these openers. You know, I'm like I said, if they all have cameras, that does not interest me at all. That just makes me say, well, I will probably myself personally will not be using any more residential LiftMaster. Unfortunately, you know, that's just how I kind of feel about it. You know, I'm not impressed with the keypads not having covers. I don't, you know, LiftMaster, to be honest, has been always a company that felt like it was designed. I don't know exactly where LiftMaster. Anybody know where LiftMaster's kind of their headquarter type stuff is? Because to me, it's always been California. That's what it's always felt like. I'm like every time I've dealt with, like, especially with the gate operators. I always told myself, I said, like, where do they make these? Like, I mean, they make these in California or what? Like, I mean, this is not for the snow and the blowing. That's why, like, I always really thoroughly enjoyed the Lanier, Osco, now they're Nortec gate operators, right? Because they were made in, is it Casnovia? I think it's Casnovia. It's Cascade. Casnovia. It's Casnovia. It was made in Casnovia, Michigan. Casnovia, Michigan. And they're not too far from the shop. We used to actually drive down there. They were engineered there. They were made, you know what I mean? The cabinets and stuff were made by Michiganders. You know what I mean? Like true blood, like winter people. And like they work, man. Like you open up a door, they're kind of semi-covered. And I tell you what, most time when I'm working on, you know, gate operator stuff, I'm not in beautiful weather. So the fact that they have a really nice cabinet and you got room in there to bring your accessories in. It's like they got 2 posts. It's like they really thought of something. They must have been on to something because even now LiftMasters made a box to fit inside the post. But like I said, LiftMaster just, in my opinion, can never keep up with the gates, with the Lanier's could, especially in winter climates. They're just too. I've just had problems with circuit boards, a lot of circuit problems, you know, circuit board problems. And so I don't know. So anyways, with their keypad not having a cover on it, like freezing rain and stuff like that, like that's, and then the UV light and stuff like that, looks like those little soft buttons are going to be like, they're going to fade. They're going to get color distortion. You know, they're just not good. Not good. Watch out for the redheads. What's Don got here? Install Marana's OTBH single phase today. How'd it go? Did you like it? Not too much. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can pop that thing up here. Let's see if this thing before it busts out. Brand. And let's see what that is. It's an O. What is it? OTBH. Ooh, so it's this guy's a trolley, huh? I call them the John Deeres. They're the John Deeres of garage door openers. But I've done a couple. I can't say nothing bad about them. Right, the green machines. I think aren't they out of Canada? I think they're out of Canada when I called. Meant to say not too much if I wrote that. Oh, you're good. Dealer up there here in Canada dropped LiftMaster and are supplying genies now. Ooh, he says, not liking that, huh? I wonder why. Why did they tell you why they dropped LiftMaster? It went good, easy stuff besides how they wear the mand or air switch. Oh, photo eyes all in one. Okay. Has to wire it all. Photo eyes were isolated on their own circuit. I wonder if do they have their own card? Their own remote card? So if the remotes, the higher end, but we only deal with the higher end genies. The genie has its own card, which I like. So if that opener, for some reason, you can pull the card out and you could put it in another unit. And if you got forklifts or truck drivers, you don't have to go through and program all the remotes. So I think that is a nice feature. The John Deeres. I'm gonna use that. The John. That's what they always look like. They always look like John Deere openers to me. You know what I mean? I think they're okay. I was entertaining them. It's just I don't know. I don't know what I don't know if it was just because maybe the French are a little bit or whatever. The French, their English was a little different. It was it was a little bit hard for me to try to order from them, and I don't have a dealer, so I just I went back to it was either, it kind of comes down to who delivers to you in a sense, and genies are just easy to get delivered to us. So I'm going to use that. Pleasure of adding Aladdin Connect to Genie commercial offered yet? Ooh. Okay, it was so awesome to just use the wall station to get into Perry mode. Really? Is that easy? No, I haven't done that. So that's really good to hear. I mean, if you got anything on the Aladdin side, that is it's hard to believe, but the Aladdin side is like way more foreign to me than the LiftMaster. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, ooh. And I try not to deal with that too much. That's kind of like I'm more like that's your, I'm hardware. I'm not software. You know what I mean? That's how my fence guy told it to me one time, and I kind of look at it the same way. Like I'm hardware, and you need to find a software person. I'm not your IT guy. I'm not going to get this to link to your phone. I'm not going to get this to, like I'll give you a remote, and that's about it. I'll do a keypad, but no, that's great. Like I said, I'm glad to hear that it's not such a pain. Ooh, Rusty's got a good question on that one. Is there a difference between the two in price? I wonder. Ooh, the money. Oh, Stas says Uranus has Skylink. You can code random fobs into direct to the board. Interesting, but it's not a removable one, I don't think, right? And that's not the end all be all. I mean, I think, I think the John Deere openers I think they're a nice solid. It's just for us, they're not real common, and it feels like tech support's a little foreign to us. In the States, at least that's just how I felt, where it's like, Genie just really does a pretty good job with tech support for us. I don't even know if anybody's talked over at Genie in a while. And I honestly, I don't deal with them as much as like Cap and some of the guys, but I just don't ever talk to them much either, just because we just don't seem to have a lot of problems. I used to deal with, what was the lady over there? Was it Gay? I think was it Gay? And she was such a nice lady. I met her in person, and she just right down to the point, man. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she, super nice lady, and she's just really smart. Been there for many, many years. I think me and the wife, actually, we sat down with her and one of her coworkers and had dinner. Not sure yet, Rusty. I personally no. Not sure yet. Rusty, I don't do much resi work. Haven't ordered one yet to see the price. All right, all right. The Genie Land also doesn't not charge you for commercial accounts like MyQ does. That does not charge you for commercial accounts. I wonder if they eventually will. If that's a little sales gimmick too, but I mean, it is nice, right? I mean, hey, free is better than paying. I mean, they're collecting your data and all this crap anyway, so I just not, I shouldn't have to pay. I think that I used to have a phone guy, and he always I forgot how he worded it. I'm sure somebody's got Rich B or somebody would have it, the word for it, but it'd be like, if it's free, you're the guinea pig. If you pay for it, you're the something. Like it's kind of like something like that. Don's got not removable. No, like I said, I mean, it's not a very like it's something. I guess it's just one of those things. Like I think about the old school, like I remember like LiftMaster with the 3 terminals, and we used to have to always, we always had like multi codes on there for the most part, and that was just wasn't that sexy. You just undid the screws and like you pulled the multi code off and you like looked at it and you're like, now I just hug it and kiss it. You know what I mean? You go, all the memory, everything is right here. I hold the key. It's like holding the hammer, right? From Thor. You're just like, I have the power. You know what I mean? And you're just like, you swap out the opener, right? You take the opener down, you throw it away, you scrap it, you put the new one up there, and you take this this old receiver that's got all the forklifts that you're watching drive down below when you're up sweating and you cut your knuckles and you're on the scissor lift that's not on real level surface, rocking back and forth, and you just take this receiver and you stick it on there, you tighten down the screws, and you're like, and then you get everything running, and the foreman or the forklift guy goes by and he goes, well, we should probably see it. I want to make sure my remote still works. And you're just sitting there with that like little grin. You're going, trust me, buddy, your remote's going to work just fine because it's a multi-code and it's got dip switches, and I didn't change that. I just plugged it back in, so you're good. All your little buddies around here, they're all good too. Well, there's a guy that called in sick today and he carries one in his truck. You think he's fine. He's just fine. Don't even worry about it. And guess what? We're all done here. You pay your bill. I'm not coming back. Have a great day. We'll see you in a couple years, Instead, I remember, it's like when we had a gate failure, and I remember I'm like, I wised up and I finally put a multi-code on it. But I remember I had to it was a association, whatever. There was, I don't know, it was like 6 houses or something in there, 8, whatever. And I'm like, we're going to need everybody. And I mean, they gave me all kinds of remotes. They gave me like pacemakers. They gave me like keychains. I mean, they gave me Genie when I'm dealing with multi-code. They gave me, Lanier. They gave me their garage door remotes. Just like, I'm like, I got this Ziploc bag full of all these. I'm like, what in the hell? Like, I'm just like, oh, and I remember I got some of them programmed. I had to give them back to the lady that was in charge. And I'm just like, these ones don't program in this. Well, Barb and Scott, they're on vacation, so we couldn't get theirs. Can you come back? And you're just like, I got so many service calls I got to do, and I'm going to come back and I got to charge more, and you're not going to be happy about so just sometimes, I mean, like I just miss those old receivers, you know what I mean? So sometimes I haven't had to do it. I haven't had to do it on a commercial Genie because they don't fail. So I haven't had to take out a card yet, but it's there. It's there when it's programmed, What does it say? It says it's nice if you're a tech, though, and service the building. Ooh. That's true. Get in, right? Access. R code and operator. Land module replace the RF code operator. So reprogramming all their molds to the already had a setup, but install it would be new operator, and you're good to go. Good to go. Just trying to expand the horizon. Don, these guys, I was a big fan of Liftman operators and was pretty bummed to hear they swapped to Swap to selling Genie mainly because Home Depot sells Genie openers up here. Pretty bummed. Selling Genie. Yeah, and I don't know about the box stores. I don't know if it's a number for them or if it's they're having so many problems. I mean, I just have a hard time with box stores. I just don't ever know what to think. Like when I think about Menards, which for some of you guys don't have Menards, but it's basically a Lowe's or it's a Home Depot. And it's like every 5 years, like, right? The faucets, the furnaces, the hot water tanks, everything. It's like they all switch it. So you come back in 5 years or whatever it is, 6 years, and you're like, hey, this thing, and they're like, we don't even carry that anymore, but we got a new one. You can buy the new one. We don't have parts, how it is. How some old boy, like my grandpa was one of them, man. He'd be walking in there. He'd be like, that's the one I got right there. I bought that 3 years ago. I want that part right there. I need that part. And then you get some punk kid. And he's like, you can't have that. It's just plain. He's like, but I need that part right there. You're going to give me that part. I don't care what it costs. I'll pay for the whole unit, but I want that part, And so think about all the stuff they eliminate by getting rid of it. Because now grandpa's in there walking around. He's like, hell, they don't even have it anymore. What am I going to do? Well, you're going to go away. This is what's going to happen. You're going to either go on a line, which you're not going to do because you don't have to run a computer. You're going to go to pay somebody for service, but you're not going to bother no one here. None of these punk kids that know nothing because you don't have it. You don't have it. If we don't have it, we don't have it. It'd be like selling Chevys and now we sell Fords. We don't have Chevys. We have Fords. Ooh, Ardor owns Genie, and they are just not supporting Genie. I know overhead, man. Such a big ribbon company. Ticks me off still that they got that direct couple. We can't get it. Rusty, we mostly sell Lanier. Got the Lanier now. Laniers are rare in my area. Mostly there's all home builders installing their own. I replaced belt drive a few days ago. Seemed like circuit board was getting no power. We did quite a few little skids of Laniers, and they're okay. I just didn't like the keypad change or something. I don't know. It just feels cheap, but I mean, they worked. They were a good option. I mean, I think that what was a big sale point with them, right? You could just drop the rail right on the head and it was pretty much ready to go. You could swap it out with a chain or a belt, and that worked out good. That was a nice feature. I mean, it was nice to have that option. So you don't have to carry a bunch of different models. Don just sold a few jobs to GDI battery backups install replace with super tight install areas. Not sure if the guys worked with GDI much. A few guys. I don't think so. Not with the GDI. I don't even know what we're really even sold a few jobs to the backups. What's the GDI? What's GDI? I'm not following along. I'm dumb on this. Damn things work like hot damn never break. I swear they put you out of work. The whole city had them. What's it got here? Has place suspicious for springs breaking every year. And they wanted a cycle counter installed. Thing had over 1 million cycles by the next year. Never. Wow. Holy cow. That's a lot. Is this still talking about the GDI? You're going to have to give me a little more details on this GDI. Linear AP5 are good. Accesses and you don't have signal interference. Not a huge fan of operators. As far as I know, right, Linear got rid of their commercial. They don't do commercial. All they got is Resi openers now, is what I heard a while back ago, I get that though. Like we had to, what was it, was it like year and a half or 3 or something like that? It was somewhere in there. The Menards was one of them. They had that door 10. door 10. I think it was always blowing springs, but that would have been another one. They always had a LiftMaster on it, jack shaft, but it would have been nice to have a counter where the Genies, the nicer commercial ones, have the counters built in, so you can look in the display and it'll tell you, which would be nice. Star 1000. What was the Star 1000? Was that like an old screwdriver? I don't remember the Star 1000. Have to let me know on that. Oh, it says a Sherry referral link here. New stream looking to level out. Check. I don't know what that is. I guess I just sent a link. I have no idea what I just did. I'll delete it because I have no idea what I just did. When you're lost, you're lost. I guess something on there. It said something. Don't know what it was. Oh, good old Rich B send me some thermal air conditioner at Menards. I'll get all kinds of goodies to look at before nighttime. We'll see. I still got to I'll go get a little bit cleaned up. Give me another hot one. You got to keep the stuff clean, if you know what I mean. All right, guys. It looks like we're drying up a little bit here on the comments. I'm sure some people are typing. I really apologize. I am going to head off to the old dream world somewhere. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a good Friday. Maybe we'll see you this weekend. Like I said, this has been great. I really appreciate everybody being here and chatting and stuff. Don's got some here. Star 1000 LiftMaster recent access system for commercial use. Ooh, broadcasts 3 frequencies at once, which is nice. It's fixed for signal interference issues in the city. That's interesting. And that's another thing. What's really weird is like we have never had to put on any accessories for the Genies. The Genie, I don't know, for whatever frequency they're using or however they're blasting it or how many watts they're using. We've never had to put an extended range on the commercial Genie, and I don't know the models. I just posted a video of the GLC or whatever, but you got to go with the better one. Don't go with the mid grade. The mid grade ones are pretty junk. But that was kind of one thing me and Cap were talking about. We're like, have you ever done a circuit board? We've done one circuit board that he knows of. Well, he did it, and then I've never done one. And then the radios, we've done them all the time at the fire department, put extended ranges on them. So, but it's nice. I mean, if LiftMaster's using 3 frequencies and that's working, that's great too. That's a good idea. I just don't know if they just don't have the pattern or the frequency to hit the right one. I mean, come on. I mean, how do we send radio, into your car across miles, and we can't even, send a signal, whatever, 50 feet outside the building or something. I don't know. It just kind of blows my mind sometimes. But thank you for everyone being here. Stay cool tomorrow. Make sure you drink lots of water. I got my skull cap that I've been wearing. Rich B sent me. So I ended up getting that so I don't have the drippy drips all over the place. And don't forget, keep your fingers because they don't grow back. So we got a lot of moving parts we're always messing with. So be safe out there and stay hydrated. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Have a great night. See you, Rusty, Rich B, and Evan, all that good stuff. Freeze. He probably went to sleep. Always good stuff. Everybody else. Adios, amigo.